How you all doing today? Good afternoon, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, anywhere you are in the world. You can use the chat, all right? You can drop your answers in the chats. How has your weekend been so far? How's your weekend been so far? And welcome to another Analytics Masterclass. Okay? We are doing great. Cool. Fred is cool. Justice is saying hello to everyone also. Abdullah is saying good evening, fine and good. Ravi is saying cool. All right. All right. We are going to be kickstarting the session. Okay. We're still going to be expecting quite a number of people, but we like to keep the time. Okay, we like to just stay. You start 5 o'clock. We start 5 o'clock. Okay, so we don't keep you guys on the call for too long. Okay, so essentially the session is going to be about 2 hours long, maximum 2 hours long. We're just going to be walking through end-to-end data engineering projects, and if it's myself, going through the program every time, it's to look as if, oh, this is if a man that is handling the session and all that, it's a professional that is taking the program. And what we decided to do this time around is something that's slightly different. Okay, so we have the participants come and showcase the projects they've worked on during the course of the training program. All right. So we have two very smart, diligent professionals. I'll come and show you the things they have built during the training program. So it's just going to be a very quick session to the participants come and share their experience, what they went through during the training program, and also walk you through the project they were able to do. All right, to work on. And most times, when you get data engineering, a lot of people tell you it is highly technical. You can't learn it, under a short period of time and all that. But we have devised a certain way, a particular end to end. We have structured the training program in a way that a beginner without no experience, without zero experience in data engineering, in data itself, you will be able to go through the training program. And essentially that is due to what we have, what we call experiential learning. All right. So you're going to be working on a lot of projects, okay? Even as a beginner, all right, and you will use that project to understand the fundamentals and also understand all the things you need to know in data engineering. So we're not going to waste too much time, like I said. Let me see, where are we joining from? So before we start, we usually like to confirm where people are joining the session from. So are you joining from Nigeria? Are you joining from the UK? Are you joining from Canada? Are you joining from Brazil, Togo? Where are you guys joining from? Let me put it in the chats. Let's take it from there. All right. So where are you joining from? Justice from Nigeria, from Niger, from Ghana, so from South Africa. All right. It's good to have you on board. From China, George from China. Interesting. All right. Damlola from Porto Novo. Fantastic. Ghana, Ilori, Nigeria, from Ekuile Malcolm. All right, it's good. It's good to have you guys on board. It's good to have you guys in the training session. And and if this is your first time, if this is your first 10 analytics masterclass, can you put a one in the chat also? If this is your first analytics masterclass, could you put it in the chat also? Okay, Rabio, this is your first time. It's good to have you here. Can you guys sing the song? E.T. How do I say that first timer song? Can't remember now. Uh, Anyways, there's the first timer song they usually sing in churches, but I can't remember now. But it's good to have you guys on board. If this is your first time joining our masterclass, you're welcome. I appreciate you, Victor. You are welcome in the name of the Lord. All right, that's good. Yes, absolutely. Anyways, yeah. So if this is your first time, we like to do an introduction. All right, just so that you know exactly where you are and what we stand for. All right. So Tenalytics is an educational technology firm, and the mandate for us is to get more Africans into tech. That's like the plainest way I could actually say it. All right. The whole idea for we started analytics, or why we doing the masterclass, why we're having a masterclass, why we are training constantly, is to get more Africans into tech. All right. Now, a lot of tech, when it comes to the tech ecosystem, and you look at Africa, we are largely disadvantaged already. All right. And we have a lot of people relocating, all right? And you find out that these people are relocating and they feel like there is no job. I still have conversations with people till now, and they still say that there are no jobs outside the country. All right. But you find out that they don't have the skill set to take on certain jobs. And tech is one of the, is the industry that hires the highest, the best currently at this point in time. All right. So if you don't have a tech skill, you will likely struggle to get a job. You will likely struggle to get a job. All right. And we have people back home in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Sierra Leone, South Africa, that are looking for remote international opportunity. So you can't be an accountant, and you want to work with Fortune 500 company. It's likely going to be very difficult for you to attain those kind of position. So if you're in tech, okay, all right, you can be anywhere in the world working remotely for international firms in other countries. So we have people working from Nigeria, all right, and they're working for firms in the US, in Canada, in France, in Norway, in the Netherlands, Australia, and so on. And they're working from they're working from Nigeria. All right. So those are the flexibility tech provides to you, all right, as an individual. And these are the things that we're trying to educate people, to tell people you can learn this skill and land an international job, a remote job, or even land a very good job in your own country. All right. We have had people move from 200K, 150,000 naira to earning close to a million naira in the same Nigeria. People say there are no jobs. All right. So you see, these are the opportunity that we try to provide to Africans, tell Africans that you can learn the skill and get a better job and get a good job. So we are the old thing that we're doing, old narrative we're trying to push is premium tech skills, train Africans on premium tech skills and get them transitioning into the tech ecosystem. So we offer an array of training programs cutting across data analytics, data science, business analysis, HR analytics, and what we are doing today, data engineering. So data engineering is one of the courses that we offer to people that are looking to transition. All right. So that's exactly what we do. And that's what we stand for. So the whole thing is to get you to understand that, getting the tech skill, all right, you can actually get this job. We would also be talking about how you can get international remote opportunities and so on and so forth. Okay. So that's really what we are doing. That's the whole essence for 10 analytics, and we'll be talking more on that as we go on. All right. So, what are we doing today? What are we doing today? So, we're going to be doing 5 things, okay? Very quickly, the next maximum 2 hours, we're going to be going through 5 key areas. The first thing will be data engineering project walkthrough. Now, a lot of people don't know what data engineers do. On a day-to-day, people still ask questions. What's data engineering? What do they do? Okay, what kind of project do they work on? What do they do in an actual business environment? What kind of project do they work on? So we're going to be going through the data engineering project walkthrough. That's the first thing we're going to go through. And it's not going to be me going through it. All right. We have our participants that will be walking you through the projects that they've done in class. And you get to see that, this guy started, without experience, without any background. All right. And now they are, working on high-end projects in order for you to understand what the training program provides for you. Okay. So the second part is the pathway to becoming a data engineer and securing a job. The pathway to becoming a data engineer and securing a job. That's the second part we're going to go through. And the third one is remote full-time and tech relocation opportunities. Now, the key thing for us, like I said over and over, is you want to become a data engineer, all right? You learning the skill in isolation of the job opportunity, it's not going to be attractive, to be honest. All right. So, as adults, as we go on, all right, learning a new skill doesn't mean that, you learning a new skill doesn't mean that, you can't get a better job. All right. So, this training program that we're going to go through, we're going to talk to you on how you can become a data engineer and also how you can use the skills you've learned in landing a better job. All right. And we're going to be talking about how you can actually land that remote full-time opportunity and also discuss tech relocation opportunities. Now, we have a special offer for you. So if you wait till the end of the session, all right, we have a special offer for you. All right. And you get the recording of the session. So if you wait till the end of the session, you get the recording of the session. You get to hear about the special offer. And the last but not the least, you get to hear about the Ten Analytics Growth Internship Program. Those are the 5 things that we're going to talk about today. So the first thing, like I said, is going to be the data engineering project walkthrough. That's the first thing we're going to go through. All right. So the projects are going to be, the people that are going to be handling the sessions are myself, if you're men at April, Kanayo Dennis Akano, and Oluwashayo Akinfumi. All right. So these are the people we have. Kanayo Dennis Akano that is on the call. I'll walk us through one of a very exciting data engineering project. Okay. And we'll take it up from there. After Dennis finishes his own, all right, we'll bring in Shaya to take us through that cloud engineering project. So then Dennis's project is going to be an end-to-end, what we call distributed systems project. All right, we'll talk about distributed systems. Kana will be the one to explain the project, give us a background to why they needed to work on the project, so on and so forth. Then we have Shayo that will be coming in as, cloud engineering to walk us through one of the projects they worked on in class that involved AWS, which is a cloud engineer cloud platform. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So I'm going to be bringing in Kanayo first. Kanayo Demis Atano. Can you guys give him a round of applause? A round of applause to All right, so let me just bring him up and so we can start from there. Kanayo, if you're on the call, can you say yeah, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. A round of applause for Kanayo. Let's get to hear what Kanayo asked for us today. So Kanayo, I'm going to yield the floor to you for you to go start your. Are you good to go? Do you want to turn on your video so we can see you also?
Oh,
Okay. All right, fantastic. All right, so I'm just going to spotlight you for everyone. Okay, yes, done that already. Okay, so do you want me to share my screen so you can share your screen? Is that okay
yeah.
with you? All right, sure. So just walk us through who is Kanayo, and the project you're going to be walking us through today. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone. My name is Kanayo Dennis. I'm a participant of data engineering program on Analytics course 5. I think that's May program, May batch. Yeah. So I have a project to share. Projects we were given to a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to be a rundown project from start to finish, explain everything. So do I share my screen?
Yeah, sure, 100%. Your voice is a bit low. I don't know if you, yes, but you could just maybe increase your voice so we can hear you properly. That's not just a little.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, it's okay. It's a bit
Okay.
fuzzy. Maybe can you try to don't use the headset for the voice? Just use your system itself for voice. So I think it will be clearer. It's just a bit, the voice cannot be blurry, but it's a bit fuzzy. Yeah, Justice says the voice is a bit fuzzy. All right.
What about now? Am I audible?
Yes, it's fine. It's audible now. It's better.
Let me share my screen. My screen visible now.
Yes, we can see your screen.
So this is the project. I'm going on from beginning to the end. This project is about ingesting a very large data set. I think it's about 12 million rows or so. But in this situation, this in like on a local PC, that might be too robust. I mean, that would robust. So we devised a strategy in my project, my program, honest in my class, we write a strategy of loading the data in chunks. That way, a local computer like mine can be able to handle the workload. So first of all, do basic imports, pandas, SQL coming, then this me connecting to a database. It's a local database on my system, Postgres database. Then this is running, let's say loading the data set into a variable, which I'm going to be looking through as we go through. So this is the data set. I can just say look for the first 5 rows.
All right, I think to make it more interactive, yeah, we're gonna go through the project together. All right. So
Okay.
first of all, I think let's start from the base, from the first part of it, which is the need, the project itself. So we have the project itself is a CSV file currently, correct?
Yeah, it says if I,
Right. So and you said there's about 12 million rows of data,
yeah,
correct?
yes, there.
So what is the major problem of just loading in? Why do you want to load in the data into the database? Let's start from there. Is there any reason why you want to do it?
Yeah, for further, further analytics, further research, just to see what is, this is like a business case.
Okay.
Data can, it's not just the data is not it's not a stagnant thing. It's something people need for work. So I'm trying to load it into a database where it can be accessible for those with permission for it,
All right.
and
Fantastic.
do it in the most effective way possible for
All right.
efficient.
That's fantastic. So basically you have 12 million rows of data in a
Yeah,
CSV file, all right, and you want to load it into the database so that external people, third like other people within your organization can have access to the data. So if you have
yeah,
like the data analyst, the data scientist, all right, you can't just be sending them the CSV file. 12 million rows of data is large, is a very large data set. All right. So rather than you sending them a CSV file, all right, which will be difficult for them to work with. You want to upload that 12 million rows of data into a database so it becomes easy for them to connect to the database, correct? That's the whole essence
yes.
of okay, fantastic. All right, so you could just walk us through the other part of it. So I can see chunk size 1 million, correct? Where
No,
you
this
have
100,000 or 1
oh,
million, 1 million 92 passing for my system.
okay, for your system, okay. So you have a chunk size of 100,000. So how does
Yeah.
that work? So that means you have to how are you going to work through that?
So after calling the chunk size of 100,000, there's a function called next. So this next function, I don't know if I'm highlighting it. This sends me the first chunk of data. So in this my case, the first 100,000 rows, I can view it, I can see what it's about. It's what I did there. I called out the first 5 rows. And
Okay.
just calling from the first 5 rows, I could already see a problem already. I could see that the pickup time is not ordered correctly. It's not start, you can see from the third row, starting from the very first trip. But from this first two, I think it's 25th of February. You don't want data starting from 25th when there's first. So I quickly just play around and I sorted it out. You can see here now it's correct. I sorted it out already. Using a method called sort values. I sorted it by the date time. So it's the same as this data is ordered correctly.
Okay. Oh, that's fantastic. So the data set is taxi trips, correct? Like Uber,
Yes, it is.
correct? Okay.
Yes,
So you wanted the data currently was a CSV, you wanted to bring it in, and you noticed that the pickup date time, okay, was not arranged in order. So
no
that's the
correct.
first trip ever, okay, could you just go up a little bit? Yes, so you can see the first trip in this particular part was by 5:24, correct? 5:24. That's
Yes,
the pickup time. But you want to start from 12 midnight. Is that correct?
exactly.
Okay, so that's why you now sorted it from top to bottom. Okay, so
Yes,
it's
I do.
arranged in ascending order, correct?
Yes,
All
yes.
right. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, that's good. Thanks a lot for that. All right.
So next thing I did was just to test the compatibility on my just to see whether I can actually send data to my database. So I
Mhm.
just created an empty data set. It's 0 rows, just the headers, which I
Okay.
sent to my database. I just use it, just cheap data showcase, just to see if it works. Which I did. My Postgres isn't open, but it loaded.
No, okay. No, you don't need to run it. I think we could just explain to us the process, and that's
Yeah.
fine.
So
Yeah.
after seeing that there's connection successful, then I just put everything in a function so that it's to appear professional. Put
Mhm.
every single thing in a function. This because the columns, if I remember correctly, the columns were not in the right what is this data type. So it wasn't in the right data type. They're all in text. I need the date colon in date time.
Mhm.
So I passed that in my function. I think you can see it from here. This is my
Okay, all right. So, okay, that absolutely makes sense. So, what you're saying now is you looked at the data set, you observed that. So, what you did first of all was to test that 100,000.
yeah,
All
just
right,
to see if it's working.
if the if it to see is working, more or less like a
Yeah,
tester session. Okay, which is good,
yeah,
like a master class that we're doing right now. So, you tested it to see if there is a connection between your Python file, and your
yes,
database to see if you can actually load data into your database. Now,
yeah.
once when sorry, sorry, is that somebody's mic? Sorry, I'm just going to mute everyone so that we don't have any interruption anymore. Sorry about that. So Dennis, sorry, you need to unmute yourself. Okay, yeah,
I've
that's
done
fine.
that.
All right. So now you uploaded the data into a database. Okay. Now you created a function. Okay.
Yeah,
So this function carried out, you said the data, some of the columns in the data sets were what? Were in text format. All right.
yes.
And if they're in text format, it means that the data analyst, the data scientist, they won't be able to do any form of analysis.
Yeah,
All right.
they don't do any analysis that requires date time or even summation. So well, my
Okay.
focus on this was just basically the dates for now.
Okay. All
So I
right. No, that's
passed it
fine.
into date time format, so you can query it with time, with respect to
Okay.
time. Sorry.
All right. So
So
all right, that's the transformation you performed. All right. And
yeah,
you converted it into a function essentially. Correct.
yeah,
So
I
it's
put
easy for
everything
you
in
to,
function
all
to
right.
use, and then this me calling my function. Everything loaded. Finished loading a total of 1,000,000 in 203 seconds.
Okay. So how did you, now that you've got a million, so initially you brought in 100,000. All right. You
Yeah,
brought in a
okay,
hundred
I've not
thousand.
explained that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
So,
explain that. So basically, I use what they call a loop.
okay.
So it's 100,000 100,000 per chunk. I'll need to run it 10 times.
Mm.
So I started my count from one. I also took in respect of like the actual time it's starting. I want to know when did it start, when will it end. So
Mhm.
this is my loop for chunk in data. If count is greater than 10, if count greater than 10 is true, you can stop the loop. That's you can see there's a break function on that. Otherwise, keep going. So it's one a total of one, and with each process, it increases by one. The count increases by one. So by the time it gets to 11, that's like the 10th time. So when it's on 11, it gets to this function. If 11 greater than 10, which is true, the whole loop will stop. So I'll be left with a total of 1,000,000 rows.
Okay. That absolutely makes sense. That does make sense. So, but now you've done just 1 million, all right, and you still have 12 million to go. So how did you do? If you are currently the data set has 12 million rows of
Yeah,
data,
12,000,000 rows.
okay, and you want to load 12 million. Now, if for people that just started, they really can't comprehend what 12 million. 12 million is huge. That's what you call big data, essentially. For you guys that are just starting. So big data, one of the key variables when you're talking about big data, the first V is volume. All right. So if you look at Uber, for example, because this case study is focused on a ride hailing service, all right, whereby you have like a Uber, Bolt, Taxify is gone already. Well, you get the drift. Uber, Bolt, and the regular ones that you're familiar with. All right. So you see the trip that happens every single day. All right. Over a particular region, let's take for Nigeria, over a period of time. And now you have 12 million rows of rides, essentially. And you want to upload all this data, all right, 12 million rows into a database. You see, it's not easy. All right. And that's where the job of a data engineer comes in to make it I won't say to make it easy, but to make it a lot straightforward for the data to be available for the data analyst and the data scientist. Now, without this process that Kanayo is going through for us, a data analyst, a data scientist within this organization, take for example, if it is Uber, they won't be able to perform any form of analysis without the data engineer making the data available for the data analyst and the data scientist. Now, this is 12 million rows of data. And now looking at this, how many, okay, so for it to load 100,000, correct? It took about an average of, let's say, 19 seconds, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's good. That's not bad. So that's actually not bad. So in less than in just roughly about 2-3 minutes, you should be done with loading 1 million rows of data. Correct?
There are two reasons why we try to break them in chunks. The first reason might maybe like as I said, time is easier for the computer to handle. Second one might be for, let's say, error handling. Imagine loading 12 million rows at once, waiting maybe minutes, possibly hours. Let's get
Sorry,
an error.
your voice has gotten muddled up again. Sorry. So,
Okay, I'll take it easy this time. I said, okay, there are two reasons why we try to break data in chunks.
okay.
First, for efficiency for a system, it's easier to load for a computer to process these tasks, small, little by little. Second is also for error handling. Imagine waiting minutes, hours, to load 12 million rows only to get an error at the end. That might be wasted effort. So in this case, if there's an error from the first chunk, I would have seen it. So I only need 90 seconds to see my first error. That's basically what this is saying.
Okay. Makes sense. I think I love that. Absolutely love that. Okay. So it's even for error handling also, because if you just load in 12 million straight up, okay, you don't even know where the error is. All right. But with this particular process, you could see if there's an error that comes up, you can see where the error actually exists, where it's, where you have error basically in the data set or your code or whatever the case might be. But now the key question I want us to talk about now is this is just 1 million. So it means you still have what, 11 million
Level
rows of
mirror.
data to go.
Yeah.
Exactly. So how do we now work around it?
Well, I, well, if I want to load 12 million rows, that's my count would be, I'll have to times this by 12. So
Okay.
that's 12 times. So that would be 120. Sorry,
Oh, okay. 120
120.
times. Okay. All right. So if you scroll down a bit, sorry, you don't need to run it. That might take a few seconds. Okay. So 1 million took us 203 seconds in total. Correct. So you can see, I can see at the bottom you have finished loading a total of 1 million records in 203 seconds, 0.440, blah, blah, blah. All right. So yeah, that's fine. So can you just walk us through now how you uploaded the data? So okay, that function you had also uploaded the data into the database. So as it
Yes,
was,
so I've not informed you that. So in my function, there's a chunk to SQL. So this is the database I want to load it into. If
okay.
it exists, there are two, if it exists, if I'm running for the first time, or if I want to create a new database, I can change this from append to replace. But in this case, I'll go for append
So append basically means okay, once
to add
the
it.
first add it under.
Yeah,
Ah, that makes sense. So it's like you're stacking it on one, you're stacking it on, you're starting from the top and stacking, underneath. Do you understand? So
yes,
the first
yes,
100,000 comes in, then the next 100,000 goes under the first 100,000, then the next 100,000 goes under the first,
yes,
200,000. Oh, that makes sense. Absolutely. And that would lead us to the first thing that you did, arranging them in descending order. That's the pickup time. Arranging the
yes.
pickup time in descending order. So you
I
have
did it.
everything.
Yeah, I did that here. I think so. Sort values, I put it in the function. So sort values by tpep pickup date time. That's the name of the column.
Absolutely makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. So, and that's how you're able to do it. So now, can you just walk us through some SQL? So you brought the data from CSV, 12 million rows of data. That's huge. That's a huge chunk. All right. So you brought in the data into a database. All right. And now you're able to, all right, you're able to, Run
run some
SQL
queries.
safety. Okay, so can you walk us through some of the things that you did?
So basically, just to confirm how many trips were recorded in the dataset, you can see a total of trips 1 million.
Okay.
That's the first question this thing. Then what is the average trip distance for all trips? So this is something I maybe perhaps I might need to work on my function. You
Okay.
know, some of the columns are still in text. So I have to do it in SQL to cast it as a numeric value.
Mhm.
Then do my average of trip, this average trip distance. So the average trip distance is about 2.7. I don't know if this is miles or kilometers.
Okay.
So
Okay. But you need to confirm, isn't it? Okay. Those are the things that you will need to establish into the data set so that when for further analysis, the data analyst, the data scientist will know exactly if it is in miles or is in kilometer or whatever distance metrics you're using, essentially. So I think the first thing we need to establish, I can see somebody saying, I don't understand, just listening is all right. All right. The key thing is, all right, is just a project walkthrough, okay, for you to see what a data engineer actually does. So looking at the project, looking at this particular project, okay, Kanayo, the let's take for example you work with Uber, all right. I'm just gonna break it down so that people that don't understand coding or programming would understand a little bit better. Now, take for example you work with Uber, okay, Uber or Bolt or any ride hailing service, all right. Now, there are trips, you go on trip every single day. You go on a trip every single day. Now, it's not just you going on that trip. You have thousands of people using the same service every single day. Now, it means that whenever you order a ride, the system, the app will record it. Okay? So even if you go to the app later, all right, and you click on your app, you will find out that, oh, you can see your previous history, all the trips you've done in the last 1 month, in the last 2 months, 3 months, and so on and so forth. So it means that the application, that's Uber itself, the app, okay, records all the trips that you take on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, regardless of whenever you use it, it captures those data points. All right. Now it's not just you. You're not the only customer for Uber. All right. So they have thousands of customers, and it is capturing all the trips for each of the customers. Now, the data analyst, if Uber wants to make informed decision, for example, they want to know, the time period people order for Uber the most so that they can put surge. Okay. Now that I don't know how much price is for Uber back in Nigeria, for example. So they want to know the time period where people order for ride the most. Now, the data sets, the data analyst and the data scientist, they don't have access to that data set. First of all, let me establish that. Don't think that because you're a data analyst, you will just have data. All right. It doesn't work that way in an organized institution, organized company or organization or whatever it is. Okay. The data analysts do most times don't have access to big chunk of data. So this is where data engineering comes in. So someone like Dennis, all right, that has experience, okay, in data engineering, has established that the data sets we have at the moment is 12 million rows of data, basically 12 million trips, all right? 12 million trips. Now, in order for Dennis to make this data available for the data analyst and the data scientist to do the analysis and so on, it can't give them CSV. It can't send, oh, kindly find attached the CSV file, kindly find attached the Excel file. It can't do that. It's impossible. 12 million rows of data. Imagine you going on Excel. In terms of Excel has the capacity of what? Maximum of 1 million rows, 1,048,000 plus. All right. So that's the maximum rows of data in Excel. Now, you can't even send it. That means you have to send what? How many files? 12 files to the data analyst. And it makes no sense for you to be sending Excel files, 12 Excel files to the data analyst to do the analysis. So that's where Data Kanayo comes in, all right, Dennis, to load that data set into the database, all right? But now one thing is you cannot still load 12 million rows of data into a database at once. it will likely crash your system because of you're not using a a quant system or quantum system or quantum computer system. All right. You can't do that just by loading 12 million rows of data. So what do? You have to break it into small pieces, into small chunks to load the data into the database. All right. And that's exactly what Kanayo is talking about. And if you started from the beginning, you will understand how he was able to break it down into small chunks and, in turn, load it into the database. All right. I hope that makes sense for the beginner. All right. So you'll see that the key technologies you need as a data engineer is Python and SQL. All right, Python and SQL. That's like the key technology that you need to learn as a data engineer. All right. So, Kanayo, do you just want to share us about your experience so far with Stanalytics, the training program you're going through, and so on?
Okay, so I don't know what week exactly I'm in, but I think the past 2, 3 months now, I say it's been a good experience for me. In as much as maybe I knew a bit of data engineering before coming, but I can say with what I've learned here, my foundation has been solidified in data. So yeah, it's been a good one for me.
Okay. All right. So, did you have any experience in Python, SQL before you started?
Just some experience, just beginner experience in both sides. Just
Beginner
some,
experience. Okay, so you're a beginner essentially, and you're writing all this code by yourself, or is it copy
yeah,
and paste?
no, no,
All right, fantastic. All right, thanks a lot for taking out time. I can see some of your cohort members are here also. Kemi is here. So Kemi is saying the project is for everyone. We just started from the May course student showcasing the sample of project you worked on. All right, that's good. All right. So thanks a lot, Dennis. Is there any other thing you would like to show us from the project you worked on?
mm,
I can see you wrote quite a number of SQL syntax.
yeah, we were asked to generate a report.
Okay.
Report is basically a summary of everything. Just put them in one. How will I put this now? Just as one column, like as one file. Just know. So all questions can be answered in one glance.
Okay.
Average trip distance, highest trip vendor. So I put all these queries that you're saying from up there. Just copy them, put them in subqueries, and then you can see them in total trips, average trip distance, highest trip. Just so it's easier to see in one glance. You don't
All
have to
right.
start querying everything one by one.
Makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. All right. Somebody's asking another question, which is what we are going to be going into. So why can't you just load the data directly into BigQuery? So for people that don't understand what BigQuery is a part of Google GCP, which is Google Cloud Platform. So for our program, we use AWS. So we'll be using, AWS technologies, Amazon Redshift, and S3 buckets and all that. So we'll talk about that. That's the next project we're going to be working through, which is more cloud inclined. All right. So currently, this is an on-premise project, okay, where you're loading data into, a local database for people to have access. All right, and all that. So, Dennis, I think you've done. Thank you very much for walking us through your project. Thanks first of all for taking our time on the Saturday to walk us through the project you worked on in class. All right, and looking forward to see how we can work together better in the future. All right.
Thank you
Thank
very
you very
much for the
much.
opportunity. Do I
All
stop
right.
sharing?
Yeah. You can stop sharing. That's fine. Thank you very much. All right. I'm going to be bringing in the next person. Shayo is going to be walking us through another project. Okay, and that is going to be more focused on cloud engineering. So it's going to be a cloud project, and this is the project currently. The project is going to walk us through is an internship program. Internship is currently doing the internship program. Internship with Analytics. So he has concluded this program and is currently working on an internship project that were provided for them. So Shaya, do you want to go? Shaya, if you're there, you can unmute yourself and turn on your video. Let's get to speak to you.
Uh, Hi, Femina. Hi.
Hello, hello. Yes, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna.
can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you. We can see you perfectly. Yes. So it's good to
Okay.
meet you. It's good to see you again. Thanks for taking our time to speak to everyone on the call. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. Okay. You can share your screen at any point in time.
Okay. Yeah. Just a second. Um, Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can see your chat is loud.
Okay, okay. All right. So like Ifemina said, this is one of the projects we are working on currently. So it's basically a web scraping project where we need to like fetch data from multiple websites. And the data we're actually talking about here is jobs data, right? So you might know of jobs websites like Indeed, Glassdoor, Atsuna, and the rest of them, right? So we're actually working as a group of data engineers. And if you look at what we have here, you can see we have some contributors already, right? So it's not just me, right? So we have a couple of people. So what we did basically was to like assign the website to ourselves, or we defined the standard of which, okay, we know that once everyone is done with their task, this is what we're expecting you to deliver. So basically, this is what we're expecting your code to return as a result. Right, so we designed an architecture. I'll just explain that briefly. So like Ifemina said, we are making use of AWS majorly in analytics. Right? So you are going to be taught these technologies you're actually seeing right now. Right, so this architecture basically is an event-driven architecture. And what that means is that we rely on events for some of the things you are actually seeing also run, right? So if you look here, I don't know if this is large enough. Let me zoom it, please. So if you look at what we have here, we have this CloudWatch event. Basically, this CloudWatch event is the one that allows us to schedule a particular time when we want our pipeline to run. Right. So basically, as a data engineer, you'll be building pipelines, right? Of which this is an example of a pipeline. So the pipeline basically just shows like all the technologies and services you need, of which your data is going to pass through, that series of technologies and services in order to transform your data from, a like raw format or a format that isn't so digestible, right, into a format that people can actually use, right? So basically, these CloudWatch events will trigger a set of Lambda functions, right? So, AWS has a service called Lambda, which is actually a serverless environment where you just put your code and your code is going to run at a particular time based on when you set it to run, right? And the interesting thing about AWS Lambda is that you only get charged for the duration that your code runs, right? So it's different from setting up a virtual machine that is always running, regardless of whether your code is running there or not running. So this is a very cost-effective solution, right? Because we only pay when the code runs, and you will agree that it's not every time, you know, uh, you get, maybe if it's a website, it's not every time you get traffic. There are sometimes you have a very high traffic, right, where your code is running and serving that traffic. And there are sometimes you don't have too much traffic. So, this one only runs when it is triggered, and you only get charged for the duration, right? So let me explain what this pipeline is doing at a high level. I'll just probably show some of the code we've written so far, right? So this CloudWatch event triggers the pipeline at a particular time. So you can decide maybe to run things weekly, you might want to run things daily, or maybe twice a day, once a month, depending on how, whatever schedule you want. So the service on AWS that allows you to do that is CloudWatch, right? So this Lambda function, the way we've structured it is that since each person has been assigned a website, right? Each person's code is going to be hosted in a single Lambda function, right? So for instance, somebody's somebody scraping from Indeed will have his own code, yeah. Somebody scraping from
Sorry, sorry. I just want to provide a little bit of like a little bit of foundation to the projects you're working on at the moment, so that people that don't have prior understanding, get to understand what we're trying to do. So the
yeah,
internship is a combination of four programs. Okay, so we have the data engineering, business analysis, data analytics, and data science combined in this particular project. So essentially, what we do, all right, is we have normally it's usually myself and Adeza that do this particular. We do this project ourselves. All right. So we go on different job boards, okay, to gather as much job posting as possible, so that we know we are always keeping in trend of what the industry is looking for in terms of job requirements. Okay. So if you're looking at data analytics, for example, what are the most requirements that they're looking for the job role of a data analyst? All right. So what technologies are they looking for? Okay. So if they want to get a job as a data analyst, what tools are they looking for? All right. And that's what we're trying to do. The same thing with data engineering. Okay. So for data engineering, what technologies are in demand? So if you go on any job board, we want to find out what skills, what job responsibilities they are looking out for. All right. So that's what the project is all about. So in order for us to gather as much data as possible, all right, we are, this is basically what Shayo is working us through. All right. So each data engineer is given a particular website, all right, to scrape data from the website. So we have websites like Indeed, we have websites like read.co.uk, we have CV Library, we have quite a number of job sites out there. Okay, so and that's that leads us to everybody has their own website that they're scraping from. So yeah, Shayo, I'm going to hand over to you. So once everybody has their data that they're scraping, their website they're scraping to get the data off the website. So once they have their what happens next?
yeah. So once the scraping is done, the CSV generated is sent to a bucket, right? So that's why we have this symbol here. So basically, an S3 bucket is where you store raw files, right? So the files can be in any format. They can be images, videos, or flat files like CSV, JSON, Excel, and all that. Um, so you
Okay,
see that
sorry.
we
Just so that people can understand a little bit better. Sorry. So they have the code, all right? I can see you're using the CloudWatch, meaning that these people's code should run at a certain time. So we need enough data, all right? So you want their code to run at a certain time. So let's say, obviously, every job site like Indeed or CV Library, they post jobs every single day. Do you understand? And we need as much data as possible so that we can make sense of what the industry is looking for. So you're using CloudWatch to set up a time every day to get as much data from the website, enough
yes.
job sites and all that. So is there a particular, what time did you use for your project?
So at the moment, it's daily. That's I think 6:30 or 7:30 p.m. daily, right? But you know, as it is now, we are still putting some things in place, so it's not like functioning 100% yet. But yeah, the time we've set for now is daily, and we're even considering moving things to weekly so that we don't get to eat this website so much and end up being blocked from scraping from the website. Because some of us actually had that issue, right? Whereby after scraping for like maybe a few minutes, you just start to see that you are getting like this 403 error or something like that, right? So, that's something we are still looking into, but the plan for now is daily. We're looking at.
All right, that's fine. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, so once the data gets to the S3 buckets, then we have this service here called Event Bridge, right? So basically, from the name, it's basically a service where you can send a bunch of events to, right? So it can collects events from multiple sources and direct those events to anywhere you want to direct to. So in this case, the idea is when the CSV lands into the S3 bucket, the S3 bucket itself emits an event, right? And it emits that event to EventBridge, right? So once EventBridge gets that event, if it matches what we are looking for. So for instance, since these S3 buckets can store any kind of file, we don't want to receive events in our EventBridge based on just any file at all, right? So we've set up this EventBridge in such a way that it only watches for CSV files, right? So if you upload JSON, if you upload Excel, it doesn't do anything, right? I think I'll show that part of the code that actually checks for CSV files. So from EventBridge looks at the file that was uploaded and tries to match a pattern. If it's a CSV, then it triggers this first Lambda function here, right? So the Lambda function now looks at the events that, okay, this is a CSV file, and it goes back to the S3 bucket to pull that file, right? What did I do? Okay, so it goes back to the S3 bucket to pull that file, right? Then once it pulls that file, it does some transformation on it and stores the transform file inside another bucket, right? So basically what happened in this first step is the same thing that is going to happen in the second step, right? So the transform CSV from this first Lambda is sent to another bucket, which in turn triggers another EventBridge bus, right? So once the event gets here, if this EventBridge triggers a second Lambda function, right? And the aim of this second Lambda function is basically just to load the transform data into a data warehouse that's into Redshift. But for now, even this Redshift, due to the cost, right, we are still making use of a Postgres database because they are very similar in nature, right? The thing is just that Redshift is a petabyte scale data warehouse or database, basically, right? So you can store like very massive amounts of data, similar to Google BigQuery that was mentioned some minutes ago. So that's basically it. And another thing we adopted in this project is that we try to use infrastructure as code, right? And the essence of using infrastructure as code is that all these things we've set up, right? It's easy for us to, okay, I have like, this is one of the buckets here. So let me open another. Sorry, I'll just show some of the Lambda functions and so the architecture we have now, it's very easy for you to just go to the console and do some clicking and all that, but that's not a really efficient way of like creating infrastructure, right? Because let's say something happens to the account you are using and we need to migrate the same resource or the same set of resources to another account. You agree with me that it would be a bit tedious in, starting the clicking and all that again, right? So once you have something like infrastructure as code, it's very easy for you to take that code that represent the infrastructure and deploy it to thousands of accounts if that's what you want to do, right? So this is an example. These are the Lambda functions we have for now, right? So I think let me open this one. Right, so this is so basically a Lambda function contains the code that I think this is for this is for CV library, right? Which is one of the websites you are scraping from. So if I could just share my, can everyone see my VS Code?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So so this is what we're actually using to specify the infrastructure, right? So this technology is called serverless, right? So I'll just, in case you want to do some research. So it's called serverless, right? And it's very similar to other infrastructure as code and services like Terraform, right? But I think Terraform is a bit heavy for something like this, right? Since we are looking at serverless, and our main focus is just to create Lambda functions, right? So it's this technology we're actually using to specify all our infrastructure here. So you see, and with serverless, you can deploy to AWS, GCP, or Azure, or any of the cloud service providers. But here you can see we've specified AWS, and you specify your runtime. In this case, we are using Python. But you can actually use any language if you are a Node person. I think there are suggestions here. So if you want to use Node.js or C# and all that, but basically you'll be using Python as a data engineer, at least when you start, right? So this is where the Lambda functions were defined, right? So if I take this CV library as an example, you see that here we are specifying a handler. And this handler actually points to where your code is. So the code that represents that CV library Lambda function. And you see that the file path is web scraper /CV library /CV library.handler. So if I open web scraper, open CV library, this is CV library. So this is the same code you are seeing right here on AWS here, right? So, the whole essence of AWS is that when you build your pipeline, you don't want to have it locally. You want to deploy it to an environment where once you now have a database, you can share the credentials of your database to anybody, right? And they can connect and get their data from there, right? So back to CV library. So you see here in the handler, we have CV library.handler. So that means this .handler here has to represent a Python function, right? Which is what AWS Lambda is going to now look for. So if I search for handler, okay, I think it's probably that has not been configured fully, right? But that's basically how infrastructure as code works. So you see, everything I have here represents one infrastructure or the other. So this is here we are creating a bucket, right? So this is how you create an S3 bucket, and you have a whole bunch of configurations that you can have here depending on what you want, right? So you see the bucket's name. I'm specifying an environment variable, and so you see this is the AWS raw bucket name. You can see the name that I was given to it here, right? So that's what this serverless file is going to pick and substitute as the name for the bucket. And you see here, this is actually the bucket that was created, web scraper raw bucket test, right? So the idea is basically, if you take anything from this presentation, just it's for you to know that there's actually a way you can specify anything you want to create on the AWS. There's a way to specify it here, such that if you now want to replicate that in multiple environments, it's very easy for you to do that with a single command, right? So we created a bunch of things that I won't really bore you with now, but basically there are things that have to do with the pipeline, right? And yeah, this is actually the database. This is how you create a database within the serverless framework. So if I could just show, let me just show the database that was created, right? So yeah, I think these are some of some of the things you get to learn during the program. I'll just open RDS quickly just to show the database that was created by the serverless framework. So okay, so this is a service called RDS, Relational Database Service on AWS, right? So you can create any relational database you want. SQL Server, MySQL. In this case, it's a Postgres database. So you see that the database identifier is jobs database. And if I go back to my serverless YAML file, you see that that's exactly what I gave it here, the DB instance identifier, which is this. Then I specified my username and password, but I didn't add code that. I'm getting that from the environment variable. And you see the instance class. So instance class basically just means, what capacity of machine do you want your database to be installed in? And you see here we have C3 micro, which is, the same thing we have there. So yeah, basically that's the approach we are trying to go with, so that in case we need to replicate this, it's very easy for us to do so. So like I said, it's still a work in progress, but that's basically what we have so far. And yeah, I think I've already explained the architecture. So I think I'll just show one more project. I think that's a little bit, it's not as technical as this, though. It's also a cloud related project. So I would, yeah, so in this project, it's very similar, but not as complicated, right? So here, what I'm just doing is to fetch data from an API, right? So the other project I just showed, in that one, we are scraping data from websites, right? So we look at the website, try to identify the structure of the website, and write Python code to scrape that data. But from here, we are getting data from an API, which is basically, API is basically, they are like an interface to databases, right? So the idea is that we are fetching the data, storing it in an S3 bucket, very similar to the other one. Then we have a Lambda function that is transforming. So we are getting this data and storing it in JSON, right? Then we have this Lambda function here, transforming that JSON data into a CSV. Then the CSV is stored in another bucket. And once the data is in CSV format, then we can use another Lambda function to load that data into a Redshift data warehouse. So the interesting thing about this project is that, it was orchestrated using Airflow, right? So Apache Airflow is also something you get to learn during the program, right? So Airflow is basically allows you to monitor your pipelines, right? And to schedule your pipeline as well. So I think I will share the link to this repo in case anyone wants to go through, right? But this is actually where the pipeline is being orchestrated with Airflow. So you can see the same pipeline we have here as a representation in Airflow. If I could just, so it has a representation in Airflow, and you can see first we are fetching the jobs data from Rapid API. Coincidentally, the two projects I've talked about today have to do with jobs. That's just a coincidence, right? So in the next step of the pipeline, we are pushing the raw jobs data to S3. Then we are transforming the JSON data to CSV. Then here we are creating a database table to store the data if that table does not exist. Then finally we load the data to Redshift, right? So yeah, basically what you'll be doing as a data engineer is building stuff like this, building pipelines to move data from source to destination. And this is an example of the results. So this is an interface for Redshift, for AWS Redshift. And the data that was actually not scraped, the data that was fetched from the API is actually what you have here represented here. So you can see the country. I actually focused on 3 countries, I think. Yeah, 3 countries, US, UK, and Canada. Right, so yeah, that's basically what the pipeline is doing. We have the code here. So the code that is doing all this is actually present here. So you see, you get to use like different Python technologies, and of course, pandas, definitely, you get to use pandas. But I'm not sure I'm using pandas here. Right, so, and you can see how the code has been broken down into like different utilities, right? So we have a file that has functions uploading to S3. We have code that is transforming the data. We have code that is loading the data, right? And so if I open this, I think I stored everything in these utils. Sorry, in this ETL.py. So you can see we have the code extracting the jobs data from the API. We have the code transforming the data, and I've structured it in such a way that if I want to use Lambda, I just have to specify a flag. So the idea is that if I switch this to true, then what happens is that Airflow is going to run that portion of the code on Lambda. It won't run it on my local system. So it's just a trick I implemented. Then this part is loading the data to the Redshift data warehouse. And yeah, I think that's this, so that I don't keep talking. So if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
All right, that's absolutely makes sense. Thanks a lot for that. I think that's very, very detailed. So I could, just to break it down, there are 2 projects that you worked on that you showcased today. The first one is the cloud engineering project that is more focused towards cloud engineering. So you used Event Bridge was your what do you call it, your automation tool, if I'm correct, yeah?
Yeah, and CloudWatch.
And CloudWatch.
Yeah.
So you come back. All right, fine. So for the other projects, you used Apache Airflow for your orchestration, scheduling, and all that. So the two.
Yes.
All right, fantastic. All right. So yeah, fortunately you used almost the bases were different. The bases are different, to be honest. So the first one was web scraping. The second one you were pulling, or you're fetching data from an API.
API.
All right. Exactly. So fantastic, beautiful experience, beautiful project you worked on. So yeah, I think even I don't think there's any question. Somebody asked a question here. Why select Postgres over MS SQL? Is there any reason why you used Postgres over Microsoft SQL, SQL Server?
SQL Server. Yeah. So I mean, no particular reason other than the fact that, you see, for a data warehouse, right, the engine that most data warehouses run on is Postgres, right? So if you do some research, the underlying SQL engine behind what's it called again? Behind Redshift is Postgres, even BigQuery, right? So since they share that similarity, that's why I just like decided to go with Postgres, right? But I could have easily used SQL Server, right? And things will still work. Things will still work the same because there's this library, SQL Alchemy, right? That you can specify, you know, you can specify connections to any relational database, right? And it's going to do all the underlying, you know, what do you call it, interactions for you, right? So yeah, I think that's it.
That's pretty much okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Shia, for taking out time to walk us through the project. Really appreciate you on a Saturday taking out time to walk us through the project you work. It's absolutely fantastic. All right, so thank you very much. And you guys should reach out to Shia. Okay, he's on LinkedIn. I'll probably post his LinkedIn. I'll tell. You guys should reach
Yeah,
out to Shayo and Kanayo Dennis. All right. So you
Dennis.
guys have yes. Now from your okay, before you go, just one quick one. Now from your own perspective, now looking back from when you started, because a lot of people might feel like, oh, this might be very, might be a lot. All right. Now from your own perspective, do you think a beginner can start and from your own interference with talking to the participants, interacting with other participants, also the had no prior experience and all that. Do you think someone can start the program and learn all this within the duration stated?
That's within 4 months, right?
Yeah,
Within a duration
exactly.
of
4 months, yes.
absolutely. So the thing is, learning is continuous, right?
Yeah.
So Tenalytics is going to give you, um, what you need basically to get started, right? So the rest will now be like basically left to you to keep practicing. And when you are practicing, you don't deviate too far from what Tenalytics has given you already, right? It's just that you keep building on that, and yeah, you definitely get much better. So as a data engineer, you don't need to know all these all these fancy technologies. Like yeah, they are important, right? But basically, you just need to understand that my job as a data engineer is to make sure that I can help people or companies or businesses move their data from one source to one destination, right? Regardless of the data formats, right? So one thing I would advise is that your Python has to be like, it's something you need to keep practicing every day, right? So yeah, it's possible really with the dedication. Just this is not the kind of thing where you do one day and go and chill for like 2 days, then come back and you have to. It has to be an everyday thing, and I'm very sure once you do data engineering every day for 4 months, that what else do you just need to keep improving, and that's it.
Right. Fantastic. Thanks a lot for taking our time again, Shayo. I think that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. All right. Thank you again. Thanks. Thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
thanks for having
Let me.
me.
All
Yeah.
right. All right. Just going to share my screen back, and like I said, it's going to be a 2 hour session, maximum 2 hour session. So I'm just going to walk you through people that are asking questions around start getting started as a data engineer. What do you need to get started? That's the key question that we get majority of the time is, I want to become a data engineer. How do I get started? Is the key question. So we're going to be talking about the data engineering program. And essentially the data engineering program is your pathway to becoming a certified data engineer. Now, if you're looking to become, if you've honestly done your research in data in becoming data engineer to become a data engineer, you'll find out that it's one program that is difficult to get a hang of. Okay, very very difficult. Okay, and that's because of it's still relatively new. All right, even though yeah, a lot of people are transitioning, a lot of people that are currently data engineers were previously software developers or data scientists and all that. So you hardly get a place that would introduce data engineering to you as a beginner. All right. So other platforms you see out there, very expensive, first of all, and also they really don't take into consideration that we have beginners. So, and one thing I like to tell most people is get into a particular skill as early as possible. I remember when I was learning data analytics 2016, 2017, all right, it was people were really not learning it, all right. It was a force back then, just the way data engineering currently is a force. All right, people talking about it and all that. But I was one of the people that started learning, all right. And just fast forward a few years into that particular role itself. I'm not leading teams. I'm the one responsible, having a team to myself and all that. So one thing you need to think about yourself is positioning. Data engineering in the next couple of months, in the next couple of years, where do you see yourself? Now, this is a young field. And I'll tell you for free that data engineers are one of the highest paid currently within the tech ecosystem, inclusive of software developers, cloud architecture, solutions architects, and all that. Data engineers are one of the highest paid tech professionals. And what is their job? It doesn't pass moving data from one place to the other, ensuring data is available. All right. Either you're batch streaming or you are, either you're batch, either you're doing batch or streaming, you are definitely moving data from one place to the other. So this training program takes into consideration, even though you are a beginner, even though you're a beginner, it takes that into consideration. All right. So essentially, this training program is for 4 months in total. All right. And I'm going to walk you through what you'll be getting from the training program. So it's 100% online. So regardless of anywhere you are in the world, all right, you're in Ghana, you're in Sierra Leone, you're in Nigeria, you're in the UK, you're in Canada, US, regardless of anywhere you are in the world, you can attend the training program. And the next part is hands-on practical sessions. So all the sessions are practical. And I'm going to walk you through, I'm going to show you the classes. Okay, I'm going to show you the live classes that we have. All right. And you'll see that all classes are practical, project based. And that's how you get to see that you can see how confident they are walking you through the projects they've done. All right. These are our participants have gone through the training program and they are doing well for themselves. Some of them have landed jobs, landed opportunity due to the projects they've worked on. All right. Now the next part we're going to talk about is the lifetime access to the materials. So you have what lifetime access to the materials and experts. So even if you've gone through the training program, you still have access to the materials and also with the experts. So once you get a job and you're faced with a particular challenge, you can easily send a message to any of the experts on the program, and they'll be happy to to work with you on all those kind of things. So I'll still expatiate more as we go on. Okay, so but you have lifetime access to the materials and the facilitators, the experts within the training program. Now, the training program, you will have over 20 classes, okay, and 50 plus topics, okay. Now, and also in terms of salary, we have the average salary of a data engineer currently in Nigeria is 8 million naira, all right, and the average in the UK is £52,000 per annum. So this money is per annum, is not per month, okay? All right. So the average salary of a data engineer in the UK is 52,000 plus per month, per annum, I mean. And in Naira, it is 8 million naira per annum. All right. So add projects to your portfolio. So add over 10 projects to your portfolio. So you're going to be working with Python, SQL, Linux, Apache Airflow, PySpark, so on and so forth. And all these technologies you're going to be working on, you'll be building projects. You'll be working on projects, industry relevant projects. Okay. So the next part also is 100% job prospect visibility. So we're going to be working with you not just on the technical side of it. We would also be exposing to where you can actually get remote opportunity, remote jobs, and so on and so forth. And what I like to say is you learning the technical skills, you taking the better, burying your head in learning the technical skills. At the end of it all, the whole essence of you learning a new skill is to get a good job, get a good pay. And that's what we're going to do for you when we talk about 100% job visibility. All right. So we'd also work with you. And after the training program, you get an industry relevant certification. You get an industry relevant certification. The training program is for 4 months. Okay. Sorry, this is 1 month internship. So 3 months of training plus 1 month virtual internship. 1 month virtual internship. So it's free of charge. So you have 3 months of training, and you also get 1 month of virtual internship, 1 month free virtual internship. And that's exactly what Shire is going through, and that's the project he's currently working on. And you can see how detailed the projects are. Okay. Now, the key question, another question is, how do I become a data engineer? How do I become a data engineer? So we start first from the foundation, and this is why we say it is designed for beginners. All right. So we have introduction to data engineering. So certain concepts, certain conventions, certain fundamentals that you need to understand is what you'll be going through when we talk about introduction to data engineering. So at this point in time, things like what's the difference between a data lake, a data warehouse, a delta lake, so on and so forth. What is big data? What is the 5 V's of big data? So all those basic fundamentals of what you need to understand in data engineering is what we'll be talking about in the first session, which is introduction to data engineering. Now, the next part you're going to be talking about is Python and SQL. Python and SQL. These are the two key technologies that you need to learn in data engineering. All right. These are the two key technologies you need to have at your beck and call as a data engineer. All right. So you're going to be learning Python and you'll be learning SQL and you'll be combining the two of them together. So you notice when Kanayo came online to talk about this project, you notice that it was using Python, but it was also writing SQL within the Python within the Python environment. That's basically using Python and SQL together. So you can use Python to connect to a database, and you can run SQL syntax for you to query data off the database. So essentially, you'll be working with Python and SQL. Now, the next thing after you've learned Python and SQL would be batch commands and version control. So at this point, you get to learn Linux and you get to work with GitHub. Now, you would also notice, when Shayo came in to present, it was just presenting from his GitHub account. So GitHub allows you to perform what we call version control. All right. So everything will be explained in this particular aspect of the training program where you get to work with Linux and GitHub. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is data modeling. Now, data modeling is an essential skill set for a data engineer. And essentially, this is because you're going to be moving data from a source location to a destination location. You're going to be moving data. So the way you structure the data, the way you model the data is very important. All right. So that's where data modeling comes, where you have your database architecture, you have your star schema, you have your snowflake schema, you have your foreign key, primary key, your dimension, and your facts table. How you have normalization, first normal form, second, third, and fourth normal form. All these things you'll be get to do that in the data modeling aspect. All right. So moving on, you get to work with pandas, okay? Pandas for data transformation, for working with data, bringing in data, loading data, and doing your data transformation and so on. Thereafter, you get to work with PySpark, okay, Apache PySpark. You move into data extraction. You get to work with data cleaning and transformation. You'll notice in all the projects you talked about how they brought the data in. That's the data extraction phase. Either it's coming from a website or an API source or a CSV file, regardless of wherever the data source is. You need to extract the data from the source location, all right, and bringing it into the Python environment. And inside the Python environment, you now start to do what we call data cleaning and transformation. So if you remember, Kanayo said something very interesting, which is the date time you needed to convert the data type, all right, from text to datetime and numbers and so on and so forth. That's part of the transformation that we're talking about. All right. So if you have missing data, you have errors in your data, you have to clean those things. So to ensure that you have very, very clean and proper data for the data analyst and the data scientist or the end users, essentially. All right. So after you finish working with data cleaning and transformation, you move into cloud computing. Okay. And we're going to be working with AWS. So AWS, I think currently in the market, it occupies over 40% of the market share. All right. So majority of the organizations leverage AWS as their preferred cloud platform. All right. So you'll be learning cloud computing, with AWS. So all the services they render that you'll be using as a data engineer will be introduced to you. Thereafter, you move into AWS Web Services. You get to work with the services like I talked about. Then you work with data pipeline and orchestration. Now, data pipeline and orchestration happens in two separate places. Okay, so you have the on-premise and you have the cloud. So you get to work with both sides. All right. So you can see Kanayo came in to talk about more on the on-premise aspect where you are loading data into a database within your local environment. Okay. And Shai also talked about how you can load it directly into an AWS S3 bucket or the Redshift, okay? Redshift, Amazon Redshift. So these are the technologies that you get to work with. And you would have projects that fall into these two categories, either on-premise or cloud, all right? So you get to work with data pipeline and orchestration. Lastly, last but not the least, you will get to, once you've gone through all this, you now become a master data engineer. You become a master data engineer. So, in terms of all the things you're going to walk through, you start, it's like I said, I think Shayo said the same thing. It's a process, all right, taking you one step at a time. And literally, it's a step. So the first step is the introduction, fundamentals. You go into Python, you go into SQL, you combine the two of them, Python and SQL together. You go into Linux and GitHub. You move into data modeling. You go into Pandas, PySpark, Apache Airflow, AWS, and you have version control using GitHub. So now the technical skill only amounts to 50% of what you learn. Imagine you learning everything, all these technical skills, and it's only 50% of what you will get from the training program. All right. So having gone through all this, and it only amounts to 50% of what you go through. Now, that's exactly what you're talking about. So now I know a lot of you will be asking, how would I learn all these things? And it's only 50%. That's just 50% of what you will get from the training program. I know majority of the people ask that question, but I would explain the other 50% as we go on. All right. So this is the slides are going to be sent to you, but under each topic, all right, under each technology, we have like a detailed schema of what we'll be teaching in each aspect of the training program. All right. So for data engineering fundamentals, for example, you have introduction to data engineering, why data engineering, the data engineering concept, big data 5Vs, what's relational database, data pipeline concepts, what's the difference between a database, a data lake, data warehouse, data mart, and Delta Lake. So all those fundamentals that you need to understand that you feel like might just be coming up, all right, that might sound a bit vague to you initially, will be explained to you in detail. Okay. Okay, well, you can see all of them. The slides are going to be sent to you, and you would have access to all the things that we have here. So you see Python, you have Python programming, you have exploratory data analysis, you have processing JSON and REST payloads, you have Python programming, Python database programming. So this is where you now start to work with Python and SQL together. So you see, you literally go through all this, and these are like the subtopics that you'll be working on in class. Now, one key thing you need to understand is you'll be leveraging ChatGPT in the process of learning. All right, you'll be working with ChatGPT. Now, a lot of people, think that AI is going to steal the job. Okay, a lot of people have that feeling that, oh, with AI, being the fact that AI can like an AI like ChatGPT can code, can write Python code and all that. Is it going to replace my job? Is it going to take my job from me? And the answer is very simple. It's a big no. All right. So AI is supposed to be an enabler. It's supposed to allow you to do your job faster and quicker. All right. So I wish I had ChatGPT when I started learning. I won't lie to you. All right. But now you have ChatGPT to make you learn faster. All right. To make you work faster as a data engineer. And you're going to be leveraging it during the training program. All right. In order for you to get, become an expert essentially. So these are the subtopics and the things you're going to be learning in each of the technologies. We have data modeling, we have Pandas, Apache, PySpark, data extraction. So these are all the things. Like I said, the slides are going to be sent to you, so you can go through them in detail. All right. Now the next part is the other 50%. So learning, all the technologies and all the tools for data engineering, Python, SQL, Apache, Airflow, AWS and all that, that only amounts to 50% to ensure you get a job after the training program. Now, the other 50% you need, all right, the other 50% you need in getting a job is what we have here as additional benefits. Now, all these services that all these other services that we are offering to you is free of charge. You're not paying a dime for this. Now, the other 50%, we have CV review. Okay, we have CV review. Now, being the fact that you're new to this particular industry, which is data engineering, for example, you would need to revamp your CV. All right. So your previous experiences and all that have to be tailored towards data engineering. So there's a process we go through to teach you how you can review your CV. Now, the reasons why we are teaching you, all right, we would help you review your CV, but would also teach you. And that's because every job role is unique. All right. Every job role is unique. And that's why you need to learn how to tailor your CV to the job role. All right. And now, if you've ever applied for jobs and you get an instant rejection email, I know I've been there before. All right, where you apply for a job and immediately you apply for a job, you're getting a rejection. That's because, first of all, you don't tailor your CV, and secondly, your CV was not a match. Okay, so don't feel like somebody was there to read your CV and reject you immediately. Nobody has that time to be reading CV in under 5 seconds, in under 10 seconds or a minute, and to respond to you as quick as possible. There is no recruiter that's going to do that. So there's a system called ATS. ATS. Okay. So ATS, all right, stands for Applicant Tracking Software or System. Okay, whereby whenever you apply for a role, this application, all right, filters your CV, takes a look at your CV, and if it looks at your CV, understands the keywords, all right, and if those thing doesn't match what is in the job description, you would likely get rejected. All right. And this is where a lot of people fail. Okay. So people learn the technical skills without getting these additional benefits. And they come online to tell you that you can't learn data engineering in 3 months, in 4 months, and so on. It's difficult, it's that. All right. And that's because they are trying to do it by themselves. And that's the reason why we started Analytics to an old people. All right. To an old people to ensure that you go through the training program and get the best value as much as possible. So CV review is one of the things I'm going to do for you. The next thing is LinkedIn optimization. Now, LinkedIn optimization is very simple, and I'll explain it in the best way I can. All right. If you go on Google, all right, and you search, all right, for the best platform to learn data engineering, you'll see data analytics is the #1 place. All right. That's what we call search engine optimization. So whenever you search, all right, the Google has search engine embedded in. It's basically if your website or your brand basically is recognized, for to be the best for that particular service, it's likely gonna come up at the top. All right. So obviously, people find ways to rank high, on search on Google on search engines, essentially like Google. So whenever you search for something, that particular product is the first thing you're going to see. All right. So LinkedIn optimization works in the same manner. All right. So if a recruiter goes online, all right, and they're looking for a data engineer, will your profile appear? Is your profile going to be the top candidate or top 5, top 10, and so on and so forth? Would your profile appear? Those are like the key questions you need to ask yourself. Now, if you don't receive what we call emails, sorry, pardon my mouse writing. Okay. All right. There's something we call emails in LinkedIn. So if you receive emails from marketers and all that, it means your profile is majorly focused on buying products and all that. Okay. Now, if a recruiter puts in, oh, they're looking for a data engineer, all right, a data analyst, a data scientist, will your profile appear? Is a key question. So that's where LinkedIn optimization comes in to ensure that your profile is ranking high. So whenever a recruiter within your region searches for a candidate, a potential candidate, your profile will be one of the top ones they are going to see. All right. And this has worked tremendously for our participants, that initiate and also take this seriously. So if you have a LinkedIn profile, optimize it, have a good profile, have certain keywords in the profile that will keep you ranking high in recruiter spaces. Okay. The next part is Upwork optimization. So for Upwork optimization, it's a freelance platform for you to get freelance opportunity. So when I talk about optimization, it means that whenever somebody also is looking to get a freelancer in your specialization, you will get rank quicker and faster. So almost the same thing with LinkedIn optimization. We do the same thing for you on Upwork to optimize your platform, okay, and ensure that you rank as high as possible whenever there is a need for your service. Okay, that's for freelancers. Now, the next part is navigating the job market. Now, navigating the job market is one key part that we take seriously, and that's because you are a beginner, right? And beginners struggle a lot. Okay, so you first of all, you don't even know the kind of jobs you could apply for. All right. Oh, most times it is, oh, I learned data engineering. I should apply for data engineering jobs. Now, in the market, there are different employers call their job roles in different terminologies. Some would say cloud engineers, all right? Some will even call it data architect. Some will call it ETL developer. Some will call it big data analyst. Some will call it analytics engineer, all right? So on and so forth. So there are quite a number of roles that you can actually apply to, or you don't know that you can apply for this job. But that's where we come in to tell you the kind of roles you can actually apply for, not just the kind of roles you apply for, all right? Also, where to get those job opportunities. Now, you are looking for remote opportunities. You honestly don't know the sources where you can actually get remote opportunities. All right. So you are looking for a job, you're looking for remote opportunities in the US, in Canada, in the UK, and so on. Where did you get these jobs? All right. And if you're very popular on LinkedIn, if you use Twitter a lot, you get to hear a lot of people say that, oh, I work remotely. I make between 3 to 5 to 3,000, 5,000 pounds per month. And these are the opportunities there are in tech. These people are not lying. There are opportunities for you to get even more, all right, working remotely. So we're going to be showing you doing that, in the navigating the job market sessions, okay? And I'm going to just show you some of the places you can actually apply for remote opportunities as we go on. All right. The next part is recommendation and reference letter. So for recommendation and reference letter, all right, we provide that to back up your application. So once you apply for a job and a recruiter is looking for recommendation letter, we will stand in for you. All right. So if you are saying you're a data engineer, you've never really worked as a data engineer, all right, the recruiter would want, a recommendation or a reference letter to back up your application. And that's where we come in to provide you with that. So even if you're coming in from a carpentry background, we will provide you with that particular reference and recommendation letter. And that's really riding on the fact that you have gone through the program, you have worked on the project, you have delivered assignments, you've worked with us, Tenalytics, on certain initiatives. So we'll provide you with your work reference. And another good thing also is you can claim work experience from Tenalytics. All right. So you can always use Tenalytics as a base for your current role. All right. And use that in applying for new roles and so on and so forth. So these are the things that we offer. The next one is job and interview preparation. So once you apply for a job, we will prepare you for the job. All right. We'll prepare you for the job and also for the interview. All right. So once you're going in for the job, there's a one-on-one session where we do a mock interview session and, prepare you, asking you likely questions they're going to ask you during the interview, teach you how to talk during the interview, how to compose yourself, so on and so forth. Basically, prepare you for the job interview. We'll do that for you. All right. And we have mentorship sessions every Thursday. Basically, the mentorship session is designed for people that are looking to become, we bring in experts within the field to come and speak to you, to tell you how they're able to transition. Okay. And you can easily learn from these professionals. All right. Oh, this is how I started. This is how I was able to transition from this career path to this. Basically, to draw in insights to how people got started in their desired career paths. And that's what we'll be talking about during the mentorship session. So we have quite a number of people that come in. We've brought in founders, we've brought in tech founders, we've brought in CEOs, we've brought in heads of departments, we've brought in quite a number of initiatives, thought leaders within the industry to come speak to our participants for the mentorship session. All right. Now, the last but not the least that we have here that we offer also is on the job support. Okay. Now, this is something a lot of people also fear that, oh, if I get a job, I might come off as an imposter. All right. I might come off as, a fraud. All right. And they're usually scared of applying. That even if I get the job, I will not deliver. And that's where we provide another service called on the job service, on the job support. So even if you get a job, we still provide support for you. Even if you've gone through the training program, after the training program, we still provide on the job support. So, and this comes at no cost to you. All right. So all you're paying for is the training service, is the 50%. And we'll talk about that as we go on. So these are the other services that you get. All right. So it's not just you learning Python, SQL, AWS, and all that. Those things, yes, they're necessary for you to get a job. But the key thing that you need to also consider is your CV, your LinkedIn, your recommendation letter, where you can actually apply for the job, preparing you for that job. And even when you get the job, providing you on the job support. So these are the things that we offer in addition to learning the technical skills. All right. So, like I said, some of the job roles you can actually take on after the training program is business intelligence developer, data engineering, big data analyst, analytics engineer, ETL developer, technical architect, data science engineer, and quantitative data engineer. So these are some of the job roles you can take on. Have some, not all, just some of them that you can take on after you finish the training program. So I'm just going to show you some places you can get remote opportunities in like 5-10 minutes. I'm going to show you remote full time. Like I said, I usually tell most people we don't like to hide this opportunity, and it's very simple. I'm going to start with Glassdoor. So Glassdoor, like is a very popular, is a popular platform. All right, it's a popular platform where you can actually apply for jobs and so on. So you can go on Glassdoor. All you need to do is register, and you're good to go. So I'm going to let's start from data engineering, data engineer. Okay, I'm going to search for data engineer, and I'm going to specify the location, United States. Okay, let's take a look at the United States. I'm currently looking at data engineers in the United States. All right. But now the key thing is I am looking for remote job, remote. All right. So I'm going to click on more, and you see work from home only, work from home only. And I'm going to switch this on. All right. And this is going to switch it to remote opportunities, remote opportunities. So you see data engineer, 79 to 116,000. All right. And you can see all the jobs are remote opportunities, all remote opportunities. Okay. So you see all the salary range 82 to 185, 100 to 140, 77 to 116. And you can see all these remote opportunities in, and this is just on Glassdoor. Now, the good thing about this is once you apply for these ones, okay, you could always change the location. So instead of United States, you could actually try in Australia. All right, Australia, and do the same thing. So data engineers in Australia. All right, and you can see the first one is AWS data engineer. That's another role you can apply for. All right, work from home remotely. I'm going to turn that on, and you see everything now is fully remote opportunities. So you see this, data engineer in Melbourne, 130,000 Australian dollars. Data analytics consulting, all right, this is 140. Data engineer, data engineer, data engineer, data engineer, so on and so forth. So you could also just specify AWS cloud engineer, all right. So these are other opportunities that you could actually take on, work from home, and you get to work along the these are opportunities in Australia. Now the good thing is one thing I tell most people is it's a global opportunity. It's not you just getting jobs only in Nigeria or in Ghana or in Sierra Leone or in South Africa or any African country. It's not just for your local environment. So having a tech skill, gives you this global reach. Okay, so today you can apply for a job in the US. Tomorrow you're applying for jobs in Netherlands. So if I check out Netherlands, all right, it's the same thing. I can always search for remote opportunities in Netherlands. So you can see the first one here is very remote slash flexible, while I want fully remote, all right, fully remote opportunities. And you see it here, eight data engineer, Spark, Python, Airflow, all the things that we're going to take you through, everything is embedded. And this is exactly what they're looking for, all right, in one company in Apollo IT in, in Netherlands. So once you finish the training program, you have, a lot of opportunity. There's another place you can go to, which is called Flex Jobs. I don't know. Am I sharing my screen? I'm actually not sharing my screen. I thought, sorry. Oh, so sorry about that. So sorry about and nobody could unmute themselves. All right. So sorry about that. So sorry about that. Let me just do that again one more time. So this is Glassdoor. I'm just gonna do that one more time. Sorry, I'm sharing the wrong screen. All right. So we have this. This is Glassdoor. All you need to do is go to jobs, click on jobs. All right. And I'm going to search for data engineer. All right. Data engineer. Okay. All right. And this is currently full-time, remote, everything mixed up together. Okay. But now that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for just remote, work from home is what I'm looking for. All right. Data engineer. Okay. Let me specify the region first of all, United States. Okay. So I'm looking for data engineering roles in the United States. The next thing is remote opportunity. That's the key thing I'm looking for. Work from home only. I'm going to click on that and it's going to give me work from home only. Okay. And that's the way you can apply for remote jobs. Okay. So you can see these are all remote opportunities. These are all remote opportunities for data engineers in the UK. All right, remote, 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 remote. So some of them might require you to be in the US. All right. So it depends. There are different organizations, different rules, different regulations. All right. Some of them may want you to be in the US in order for you to apply for this job, but you really don't know the ones that have those restrictions. Some of them might specify. All right. I will show you another job site you can actually check. All right. Some of them will specify that you must be resident in the US to apply for this role. Some of them don't specify. Well, even if they specify, I'll tell you to still apply. Do you understand? The moment you don't apply for a role, you are missing out 100%. But the moment you apply, there is a 50-50 chance that they can call you and ask you for an interview to speak to you, understand your experience, and how you can actually play in the organization. So this is just one place. And like I said, you can always change the location. So this time around, I can go to Australia. To go to Australia, apply for data engineer in Australia and also make it fully remote. All right, click on this to make it fully remote, and that's what we talk about. Now you're applying for jobs, and this is what I talk about: global skill, having a global skill. All right. So you can't. These are the things that you enjoy. These are the perks you enjoy as a tech professional applying for jobs in different regions that are offering remote opportunities. So these are all remote jobs currently for data engineering in Australia. I could move from there and I could also go to Netherlands. All right. I could go to Netherlands. Okay. This is also data engineers in Netherlands, and I could also do work from home only, and that's it. So you can see this is exactly so this was the one I was talking about earlier. Data engineer, Spark, Python, Airflow, Glue, and AWS. Literally everything that you go through in the data engineering program. All right. So these are the things that we tell most people. And you see, this one is 4K to 6K. This is euros, okay? Euros. I'm not sure if this is per month or per, but this is what they're offering at the point in time. But these are all remote opportunities. You can latch onto these opportunities as once you go through the training program. This is the kind of job available that is available for you once you go through the training program. Another place you can go to is Flex Jobs. Flex Jobs, you see it here, the number one job site to find remote jobs. All right, number one job site to find remote jobs, and this is what you're getting from the masterclass free of charge, anyways. Just to know. All right. So I could also search for data engineer, okay? All right, by location, I'm going to use United States again. I'm going to start off with the United States. All right, I'm going to start off with the United States and also search. So these are basically jobs in the United States, okay? Data engineering, okay? And like I said, it is remote, all right? They're all fine remote and flexible jobs, all right? They're all remote opportunities. So you see, find remote opportunities. You can search for the keyword data engineer now. So you can see everything. Majority of the rules here are in the US, like I rightly said, and across the world. All right. So anywhere across the world. That's because I've not specified in location. So you can see some of them, this is currently in New York, this is US national, this is basically in US, this is in Sweden, this is in Canada, this is in Mexico, this is in London, this is in US, Mexico, so on and so forth. So these are jobs that are available currently. Okay, so if I look instead of relevant, I think it's or them to leave it relevant anyway, and I could do more filters, add more regions, select the regions I'm looking for. So there are quite a number of places you can apply for these jobs. Okay, and another very popular one is well found. Okay, well found. Okay, and let me find your next job. I'm going to click on that, and you see over 130,000 remote and local startup jobs. All right, so startups that are looking to hire remote workers, well found is the place to do. All right, so I'm going to go scroll down all the way to data and analytics. And you can see this one here, data engineering manager. You need to register. I don't have an account for this, so I can't really see all the job sites and do all the searches I was doing earlier. I don't have you just need to create an account and you're good to go. All right. So data engineering manager, this is 195 to 230K. All right. So be sure the engineer you might not be able to take on that, but anything data engineering, you can take on BI engineer. You can actually take on those kind of opportunities. This is 80 to 130,000. So these are the opportunities you can apply to, and these are remote opportunities. And this is just, we've only looked at three sites. We've only looked at three sites out of how many? Out of, quite a number that we have here. So, and this is not all the places. These are the ones that are very popular that I feel like I, I can't, I can't hold you. So there are other sites that we have internally, all right, that we use in getting remote opportunities. And those are the things that we offer, additional to the popular source that we have out there. All right. So the training program, you also get a free internship. Okay, so you're getting the additional benefits and you're also getting a free virtual internship. A free virtual internship. Now you can see you can add the internship to your CV. And that's where I talk about claiming work experience going through Tenalytics. Even prior to the internship, you can claim experience from Tenalytics. All right. So you get another 1 month to own your skill in data engineering. So this time around, you're going to be working on end-to-end projects, on-premise, cloud, and so on and so forth, where you start to implement more initiative, more, have more confidence in your skill. All right. So you're going to be adding about 6 more projects to your portfolio during the internship. So you have projects you work on in the program. During the internship, you get to work on more projects. And another key thing is project review with an expert. All right. So you have an industry professional that would come in and also hold you during the project review during the internship. Okay. So it's a 1 month internship that guarantees you another, projects to be added into your portfolio. Okay. Now the global demand for tech talent. Okay. I usually tell most people if a country is designing or coming up with a certain pathway for tech talent to encourage people of a certain particular area to reside in their country, then you need to figure out a way to create an opportunity for you. That's an opportunity. So countries like Canada, UK, Germany, Singapore, Australia, France, Ireland, and so many other are designing pathway for tech talent. Now, on this premise, let me tell you exactly this premise they are building this is. what this premise is based on. Now, you see, according to a report by IMF, International Monetary Fund, the tech talent shortage will swell to more than 85 million tech workers by 2030. All right, which in turn can potentially translate to a lost revenue of over $8 trillion annually. So this was what IMF put. This was the report by IMF. Nobody else. This is IMF. You can actually Google and confirm. All right. So countries are now saying that in the next couple of years, the internal tech shortage within the country, all right, might actually cost them a lot down the line. And this is just by, in the next 7 years, by 2030. All right. So a lot of a lot of these countries are devising pathways to encourage tech talents from other countries to come into their own country. So Canada currently has the Global Talent Stream Program, which is the fastest way for you to relocate to Canada. Now, the program, this particular program, once you get a job in Canada, it takes you 2 weeks to get your visa and relocation and everything. 2 weeks, faster than education, faster than entry, what do you call it, PR, which is express entry. All right. So faster than all the, this is the fastest, and that's for tech talent. Okay. Now you also have the United Kingdom doing the global talent visa. It's somewhat kind of popular. All right. So if you have, you have tech skills, you've worked in a project-led organization, or if you're a core tech person, you don't even need that. You don't need to have worked in a project-led organization. You can always apply for it. Germany has a blue card scheme. Singapore has a tech pass program. Australia has a global talent visa. France has a French tech visa program. Ireland has a critical skills employment permits program. So you see, these are some of the opportunities you get to, latch into, from having a tech skill. All right. So don't just look at it that, oh, I can get a job. All right. You could also look out for relocation opportunities while you're even doing this. All right. All right. So some of the facilitators, you have myself, Ifemena April, co-founder of Tenalytics. I have a wealth of experience working across different data ecosystems. I work as a data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, business systems analyst. I've worked as a BI developer, so on and so forth. So my experience has cut across quite a number of roles, ranging across the UK, Ireland, US, and just one contract based off in Canada. But anyways, that's just my experience. Timmy also is one of the, data engineering lead, all right, working with analytics. And you see, she has spent over 6 years bringing data solutions to organizations and their executives through software engineering and data engineering. So it's a software engineer turned data engineer. She'll be handholding you and guiding you through your program as a data engineer. All right, she has trained over 800 professionals across the world in data engineering and has helped them transition. All right. So Kelvin also is another experienced professional that would handhold you. All right. Kelvin is a data engineer and analytics professional, over 6 years experience, and he has spent the last 6 years helping businesses build optimal cloud infrastructure, performant data pipeline, and analytics solutions to empower their analytics and AI initiatives. So their LinkedIn profiles are there. You can check them out on LinkedIn, interact with them, ask them questions, and feel free to ask them questions about the program. Obina also is an experienced data scientist turned data engineer. Okay, so Obina has 6 years of experience, cutting in the financial industry, and currently works with Movo as a data engineer, and this is based in Canada. So he's currently in Canada. All right. So you see what one key thing about the profile is, he has been instrumental in technical product support for flagship digital and retail products, generating billions of naira annually and serving millions of customers across one of Africa's largest banking brands. So these are the people that have done it on a small scale, have done it on a very, very large scale. All right. So you're going to be working with these people to get started in data engineering. So Byron is another fantastic professional. All right. Currently also facilitates with analytics, like what we're talking about, and also the business and data lead with Toju. All right. And that's basically over 6 years experience, building data pipelines and, orchestration and all that. Ibrahim Animasham absolutely is a machine learning engineer with Bryant Dental in the UK. All right. So he is a doctor turned data professional. All right. So currently, you see, he completed a data science fellowship at Faculty AI, where he built a Gaussian toolbox to predict the chances of survival in patients. So he's a doctor turned to a machine learning engineer, and he's going to be working with you during the training program to get you started. Abdurrahman Yaniwura is a data science consultant with a Big Four consulting firm based in the UK. And you see, he has built multiple AI use cases for different organizations, that has cut across increasing revenue, reducing operational costs, and improving work efficiencies and so on. So this is Abdurrahman, very diligent, absolutely very smart professional, I would say, okay? And the last but not the least, we have Daniel Opanubi, all right, very, very experienced professional, currently a data engineer with iTech Integrated Services Limited, also a facilitator with Analytics. Currently, has worked as a data engineer with Omdena in Berlin, all right. So, and these are people that had no experience, in data engineering and the transition, because nobody learned data engineering in school. Literally nobody learned data engineering in the university. So, these people have transitioned, and they are the ones also that will be coming in to hold your hands and help you transition into your data engineering career paths. So that's basically what we offer. These are some of the facilitators that will be working with you. We have quite a number of them working across InterSwitch to AB InBev, and Google, Facebook, so on and so forth. All right. So now, the training program is going to be starting on the 2nd of September, 2023. 2nd of September, 2023. Now, the training fee is £450, okay? 415,000 naira if you're paying in naira, and £500 if you're going to be paying in pounds. But we are currently running a discount. At the start of the session, I told you at the start of the session that we have a discount, we have a special offer for you. So we have an early bird discount running at the moment. So if you want to get started, in data engineering, we have a course starting on the 2nd of September 2023. We have a program starting on the 2nd of September 2023. All right. So you can pay in pounds. So rather than paying £500, you can pay £400, and you can pay in 2 installments. That's the beauty. All right. So rather than paying off just £400 at once, you can pay in 2 installments of £300 and £100. And if you're paying in naira, it is 350,000 naira, and you can also pay in 2 installments of 250 and 100,000 naira. All right. So make the first payment to secure your position. All right. This is an early bird discount, All right. So this is only going to be available, short term for people that are looking to register as early as possible. So another cool thing that we do is just secure your position. That's the key thing. Just secure your position. So if you have 100,000 or 200,000 right now to secure your position for the early bird, for the discount, please secure it as soon as possible. All right. So that's exactly what I like to tell most people. And ideally, all right, it runs out, all right, because by next week, we're going to be closing off the early bird discount. Okay. So you only have about this weekend to make a decision, secure your position. Now, most people that are still considering, I usually tell them, just deposit your money. All right. You can always request for a one-on-one conversation. All right, request for a one-on-one conversation, but lock in your early bird discount. So if you have 100,000, you have 200,000 to lock in your discount. Lock it in. But the key thing is you would need to pay the balance of whatever you've paid. All right. So if you pay 100,000 or 150 or 200,000, you need to pay the balance before the 2nd of September. So the 2nd of September, you will need to have completed the fees, either 250,000 or £300. So you need to pay that as soon as possible before you start the program on the 2nd of September 2023. So you see the link over here. You can actually make payments using the link here. So if you want to pay online, you want to use PayPal, you want to use either PayPal or Paystack, you can actually pay online. All right. Now, another thing I would say is the balance payment. The second payment comes 1 month into the training program. 1 month into the training program. All right. 1 month into the training program. So, like I said, this is an early bird discount. Early bird discount. Now, we've talked about all the things you benefit from the training program. And I saw somebody had a very interesting question or very interesting concern. All right. So Kemi has responded already, our participant. So Noel is saying that I've attended a number of tech courses with such promises of courses supports like yours, where immediately after payment is made, the course is over. It's difficult for anyone to get anyone from the organizers to answer any question, let alone offer on job. All right. So honestly speaking, do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna show you the classroom so you see exactly what I'm talking about. But like I said, please, this is an early bird discount. This is early bird. This is not the fees for the training program. This is the fees of the training program. It's 450,000 naira and £500. So if you want to part of the early bird discount, you will need to lock in your position. All right. So while I walk you through the classroom itself. So I'm just going to walk you through the classroom for the people that have a bit of doubt. All right. So I'm going to take you through this. So this is the Google Classroom. So this is where you have all your materials embedded in the class itself. So I'm going to just go through. This guy started August 8th. All right. Give me a second. I'm just going to confirm something real quick. All right. So then when it's moving, using two screens on which I'm using that. All right, so I think I'm sharing the right screen. Yes. Okay. So this is the August cohort. You see cohort 2308. All right. Classwork. And this is what we have here. So these are the guys that started the first week of August. Okay. That started just about 2 weeks ago on the 5th of August. Okay. So I'm just going to walk you through their classes. Okay. I'm going to walk you through the class. So you have the welcome kit, basically all the materials that you need to get started. Okay. So you have the, course curriculum to installation, all the things you need to install before the class starts. You get everything, get you prepped up for the program itself. So that's the welcome kit. Now, introduction to data engineering class 1. Okay, so this is the class that you introduce you to data engineering, what is data engineering, the concept, conventions, and so on. Now, you see you have the materials, you have the WhatsApp group link, and all the things that you need to get started since it's the first class. All right. Now, the beauty about this is the classes are recorded. So even if you go through the classes, you can go through the classes as many times as possible. All right. You go through the classes as many times as you want to go through the class. All right. So the classes are recorded. You can always go back to revisit. If you don't understand the concept, go back to revisit, so on and so forth. Now, you have the next class, okay? Python basics, data types, okay? And you see also the class recording. Now, to accompany the classes, to make sure you are practicing better, you have what we call the Watch Me Do It videos. All right. So you can see Python data type, Watch Me Do It videos, and you have a class, but you also have the Watch Me Do It videos to not better explain, but to provide like bite-sized videos that would basically allow you to practice better. That's the better one. So you have the live classes, but it also comes with bite-sized video to get you to practice better. So let me show you one of the videos. We have integer and float. So you're teaching Python, integer and floats, they are data types, that you use in the Python environment. So this is the video you're going to walk through, all right? And it's going to put you through all the things you learn, in Python, okay? So it's bite-sized videos. You see they are like 15, 10, 20 minutes videos. This is about 19 minutes video. And this is talking about strings. Okay, so you see all the videos are bite-sized videos, and this is watch me do it video. Basically, another video apart from the live class that will get you to practice better. Okay, so it's not just the live classes you get the project. I've not even gone through the projects. This is the watch me do it video that will get you to practice a bit better. All right. So once you finish the watch me do it video, all right, you have an assignment. You see the assignment? I'm just going to show you the assignment. Okay, so you see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to open with Google Colab just so you see the projects that they work on. First, this is the first week assignment. So you see there's an assignment on numbers and integers, variable assignment, strings, lists, dictionary, and so on and so forth. Basically, all the things that were taught in week one, you have an assessment on all the data types. All right, you have an assignment on that. All right, and that's what people get to submit. You get graded on it, and so on and so forth. Now, this is the second week, okay? So you see, you have a drop-in session during the week. So the drop-in session is basically designed to follow up on your progress on week one. So whatever you've done in week one, you have a drop-in session during the week, also by the facilitator to assess what you have done or what you are, if you have issues, if you have concerns, whatever you have one during the week, a drop-in session. Now, you see, you have a mentorship session, right? You have a mentorship session also, and this is exactly what we're talking about. Everything that this is me, you can see me there, all right? So you see, everything that we say we will do is on. This is literally the class that started in August, okay? Just this month. I'm not showing you an earlier class, all right? This is just August, okay? So you have the mentorship session, and you see, in just 2 weeks, they've gotten a CV review. This is the first session for CV review. So in 2 weeks, they've done the mentorship session, they've started learning, they've started programming. In the next 3 months, these participants are likely going to be ahead of whoever that is in their peer. So whoever is currently in the same level with them, 3 months, you can never compare to our participants and other people in the next 3 months. All right. And you can see the people that came to present today, you can see how detailed we went through their project. So we have a CV review, and you say another class, Python basics, okay, data types and structures, okay. So you have the recording, you have the material. Also, again, you have watch me do it videos to help you practice better, okay. So now this one, they're talking about function, comparison operators, loops, and so on. This is Python. You have another week of watch me do it videos, and so on and so forth, okay. So you see this, another class, you have assignments. You see, you always getting an assignment to assess your knowledge and assess your understanding, so on and so forth. You have drop-in session, you have mentorship sessions. Every week we have those mentorship sessions. We have the drop-in session to assess your knowledge, assess your understanding of the program. So you're never left alone. So even if you're a slow learner, with the drop-in sessions, with the assignments, we will definitely spot you out and hold you during the journey. So you see another CV review session, okay, CV templates that you can walk through, that you can provide for yourself, work with your CV, your templates, and so on and so forth. So you see, everything we say you're going to do, everything we say we are going to do, we do it. Every single thing. And you can see from the mentorship sessions to the drop-in sessions to the CV review. All right, we'll still do linked optimization, Upwork optimization. This is just week 3. So they just add their third class, what's that? That's going to be their 5th class. Okay, this is going to be their 5th class. Okay, this is what they did today. All right. So, these are the things that you see, data engineering job roles. Okay, this is still a draft. There's a PDF document that shows you the type of jobs you can apply for having gone through the training program. So we have 90 days of consistency, all right, that talks about you posting every single day for the next 90 days. So you're learning something new every day and you're posting it online. Now, the key one also is interview preparation. And you can see this is just the start of the program, but we encourage people to apply for jobs as early as possible, all right, and get placement and get interviewed and see how questions are being asked. Okay, so you become more confident essentially. So you can always schedule an interview, okay? And you can see at any point in time, you can always come here whenever you have an interview as a participant, schedule an interview, and you get prepped for your interview. It's as simple and as easy as that. All right. So, like I said, it's detailed. I can walk through another data engineering class, and you see it's the same thing. So this is 7, this is 8. You see, this is July, the July cohort, and it's going to be the same process. So you see, book an interview preparation session is always the first. So that's a priority for each class to ensure that whenever you have an interview, schedule it immediately. So you see the CV classes, CV review, mentorship session, intermediate SQL, introduction to API. So we're currently working with APIs, working with SQL and so on and so forth, Python. So you can see data warehouse modeling and version control. So you see we have a project there, you know, everything, just the same way we walk through. So really, even if you're a slow learner, all right, once you go through the class, if you don't understand everything in class, the sessions, like I said, are recorded. So you can always go to the class, click on it, and watch it all over again. All right, and watch it all over. If you don't understand certain concepts, we have a WhatsApp group chat. We have a Slack channel that allows you to interact with, the facilitators and your peers and so on and so forth. So, these are the things you get from going through the training program. So, like I said, this is an early bird discount that is tailored towards, that is just for this week. It's likely going to change for next week, going back to the original fees. So, if you want to latch in that opportunity, secure your base, secure your position in the program starting on the 2nd of September, all right, just under 2 weeks to go. So, like I said, this is an early bird discount, all right? So Kevin came in to say that I'm a student of Analytics. I can guarantee you will get the support of, as been discussed, both pre-job and on-the-job support. Kevin, thanks a lot for saying that. I appreciate you big time. I don't know if you have a second, if you want to speak to the guys so you can share your own experience also. All right. All right. So Justice asking, can we pay in 3 installments? You can. So like I said, you can pay now to secure your position. You can pay like 100,000 now to secure your position. Before the 2nd of September, all right, you can pay another. Then in 1 month's time, you can pay another. All right, so you can pay in 320. So you can always secure your first thing I usually tell people, secure your early bird. All right. Before the 2nd of September, pay the balance. And 1 month into the training program, you can now pay the balance of 100,000 or £100. All right. Okay, so the link, when is the early bird discounts, is going to be just before, by Wednesday next week we should be done with the early bird discounts. So I would say you should pay between now and most times you need to secure yourself, all right, before the class itself. All right, Abdullah said we are interested, and absolutely 100%. What time of the day are the classes? The classes run in the depending on the time zone. We have morning classes running between 11 to 2. All right, so Saturday and Sunday classes on Saturdays between 11 to 2 p.m. 11 in the morning to 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and on Sunday between 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Okay. So it's weekends, so you're not doing anything. You have projects you work on during the week, all right? But live classes are only on the weekends, Saturdays and on Sunday, all right? So you have classes. Noel, I'll answer your question. It's just weekend based. For how long we want to have access to the videos? Forever, till eternity. Okay. All right. So you have a lifetime access to the materials, to the videos, to everything, the projects, everything. You have lifetime access to everything. All right. So I want to speak or reply to previous messages, if that's okay. So Gray, if you have any. All right. So yes. West African time. West African time, yes, no. Please let's say okay, Ebili, you have your hand raised. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I would like Sayo to speak on the job thing because you recently got the job offer from us. So I don't know if you're still there.
Okay, Shaya, do you want to share out your job opportunity that you've gotten after the training program?
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone. So during the internship, right? I actually got 2 job offers. Like it's I don't know how to put it. but I got 2 job offers, and I'll tell you that the amount that was proposed as salary, as monthly salary for 1 month is actually more than the amounts you are going to pay for this whole training. I think I'll just summarize the whole thing there. So yeah, really, there's a lot of value, especially in the data engineering field. Like, it's a very high paying role that companies are really like looking for, people with data engineering skills. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's all I have.
So somebody's
for
asking, are they both remote? Are they both remote opportunities?
yes, they are both
Fully
they are
remote.
both remote, and
All right.
you know, yeah.
All right, thanks a lot, Shire. Shire, thanks a lot. Appreciate that. All right. So yeah, so quite a number of opportunities. I think a lot of people are usually stuck on the initial investment. When it comes to investing in yourself, it becomes a problem. But if they tell you to go and buy a land in a waterlogged area, you'll likely drop 1 million, okay, on that land. But invest in yourself, all right? Most people don't believe in themselves, and that's just it. So, like Shire said, the salary 1 month salary is taking care of all the investment he has done on the training program itself. And even more, do you understand? Like you said, it's more than what you're paying for the training program. So, those are the things you need to consider. All right. So if you want to get international opportunities, you want to get high paying jobs, tech is where you should be. And you never can get that opportunity if you don't invest in yourself. Imagine that opportunity existed and you saw it, but you can't. You probably saw that same job post, all right, but you can't apply, and that's because you don't have the skill sets. So why not invest in yourself, develop yourself, and get yourself more opportunities within the tech space. All right, so that's exactly what you're talking about. Okay, um, please let's say I want to sell or advertise an ebook to Malcolm, I've seen your questions. I'm not sure how to answer your question, to be very honest. We don't gather data, emails and all that. Okay. So this is not the platform for us to do that. Okay. All right. So guys, you need to secure your position, like I said, to get started. You can click on the main stack. Once you click on the main stack, I'm just going to click on the main stack. Ibele, do you want to post the payment link once again for us to the main stack link for us to? Why is it very person? All right, so I'm going to paste. I'm not going to get you the link quickly in just like 2 seconds. All right. Okay, so this is the link here. So I'm just going to get the link for you guys for the people requested for the links. All right. So this is the link in there. So all you need to do once you get the file, all right, once you get this particular document, all you need is this particular link. All right. So in a second. All right. So I'm going to paste the link for everyone that is looking to get started. Okay, and share. So Ebele, please just share the main stack link. You don't just the main stack link. You can just share the main stack. So once you click on the main stack, you click on the link. Every information that Ebele sent is in there already. All right. So once you click on the main stack, so once you click on this, all right. Once you click on mainstack.me/enroll-analytics. Once you click on that link that I just shared, okay, mainstack.me.enroll. All right. Once you click on that, it will take you to this particular platform, all right, where you can make the payments and do all the things you need. Okay. So you see, you can get here, all right, upload your initial. So once you make payments, please upload your initial of any payments you make. Please upload it here. So once you click on that, it's going to take you to a Google form for you to upload your receipts. Okay. Now, if you want to pay in Naira, you want to pay via your Naira card, okay, you can use Paystack to make payments. So first of all, time or part payment, you can actually click on that to make payments. Non-Naira payments, you could also use, PayPal. So if you're in Canada, you're in US, you are in Australia, whatever country you are, you're in Ghana, you can actually use PayPal to make payments. All right. CAD card payments, GBP payments, and all that. That's pounds, British pounds and Canadian dollars. So if you want to do a direct transfer, also you want to send money directly into the bank account. So you have the UK bank account and the Nigerian account details. All right. So we have the UK account details and we have the Nigerian account details. All right. So these are the things that you need to. These are every information about payment is in the main stack enroll me, link, the main stack link that is provided for you. So if you want to get access to all the brochures, click on the first thing. You see get access to all the brochures. You have data engineering, all right? The brochures for data engineering, and it basically shows you all the things you need to for data engineering. You can download them and you have everything access. You have access to everything, right? So the key thing here is upload your receipts. You need to upload your receipts every time once you make your payment, upload your receipt. Click here to upload your receipt. So I've seen some people send me messages that they've made payment. Where can they upload the receipt? So once you click on this link, once you click on the main start link, it takes you to this page. And thereafter, you can upload your initial payment by clicking on this link. And that's it. All right. So somebody's asking a question. Somebody's saying, I'm still waiting for my questions to be responded. Could you send your question again or raise up your hand? Okay, Emmanuel, do you want to ask your question? I'm going to ask you to unmute. Emmanuel, do you want to ask a question?
Hello, thank you very much.
Yes.
Ask, is it possible to have a commitment for the program and then possibly have an arrangement that when you finish the program and then you get job, you can get the balance from the first salary that you get?
All right. Okay, should we do it this way? All right. You can also give us 2 million naira, okay, to secure yourself. That when you finish, we'll give you the balance of 2 million. Would you do that also?
If I have that such money, I can do that for you.
Okay. All right. Unfortunately, we can't do that. All right. And that's because it usually comes back to bite. I've done that for a specific set of people. All right. And usually it comes back to bite us back in the hand. And that's very simple. It's a very simple thing. We can't guarantee people's seriousness. All right. So even if we give you the opportunity to go through the training program, we can't say that we can't tell if you're going to be serious. Now, people that make commitments in the sense that they make payments for the training program are usually more committed than people that come through. They just say that, oh, I want to go through it and I want to make payments. I will give you money when I get a job. Those people are usually, whenever they get to a roadblock, they are usually not very responsive. All right. And that's the reason why we don't do that. Do you understand? So that's why we don't do all this commitment bond when you get a job and everything. What we can do is we can guarantee you 100%, value add in terms of the training program. Okay. Once you finish, there is a ton of opportunities, not just within Nigeria, not just within Africa, but also global opportunities that you can take on. All right. So with that, that's the best we can actually do, Emmanuel. I hope that makes sense. All right. Thanks a lot for that question. Okay. Let me take Gray Fox. I'm not sure. Gray Fox. Gray Fox, do you want to unmute yourself? I can't see any questions from Gray Fox. Your name still sounds very suspicious also. So we have a lot of people coming in as bots, I would say. Okay, Gray Fox. Gray Fox is asking, let me see. Gray Fox, the screen is not on that. Let me just take the risk, okay? To ask you to unmute yourself.
I don't know why you're talking about bot though, because I'll be sending messages.
I'm just seeing the first message that you sent. But most times we don't like to take people that have very questionable names just because of it's free. So we bring in a lot of we have experience, having people coming with different names and all that. By the way, so you can go on with your question.
Yeah, I was actually asking about I think the other guy, one of them was talking about premix and cloud. I think I put an extensive questions why you were attending to the questions. So now I think I read on the internet there's something called EDF, that's an enterprise data framework, which is same as on-premise. So, for example, if an insurance company, they want to migrate their data from that on-premise to cloud, example, maybe Azure, Microsoft Azure. So now, what I'm trying to ask from the business, and I'm a business analyst, yeah, from the business analyst point of view, the project ought to be, it could be a waterfall project or an agile. Then the data engineers, they're supposed to be members of the development team, right?
Yeah.
So in the terms of, does it go through the sprint process? So I just want to know the end-to-end of such, maybe a summary of such projects, if you don't mind.
Okay, so you're talking about a data migration project from what system to what system, first of all?
From on-premise to cloud Azure.
Is it a legacy system or just a regular is it a database, or is it what do you call it, sorry, something's slipping my head now. ERP system, is it an ERP software? Is it what data or what kind of system?
Yes, it's an enterprise data framework, which is an on-premise database. So now they want to migrate that into cloud storage, and their choice of that cloud storage is Microsoft Azure. So I'm just thinking, okay, when it comes to data engineering aspect, technically, I just want to get an idea for the end-to-end. And second question would be, does the process go through sprint when you want to imply agile methodology? Those are the two questions. I'm just struggling to just have an understanding, because I'm supposed to start your section on the second.
Okay, so with what you're talking about, when you have a project like this, I'm not sure, when you talked about software developers and all that, I'm not sure what kind of project you are working on. All right, so I did the full scope of the project first of all. Now, when you're talking about sprints, or you're talking about, agile Scrum methodology, that's for the business analyst, not for the data engineer. And the business analyst is this person that understands the business requirements, all right, and works with, technical team, either technical or business, regardless. In this scenario, it's more technical team. So you want to move your data from a legacy system to your cloud platform, okay? Now, that business analyst will break those activities into sprints, okay? So sprints is usually used more in Scrum, all right? So sprint planning and all that is usually during, when you're working with the Scrum methodology and all that. So the first thing when you're talking about sprint planning is you start with a big picture, and that is we need to move data from an on-premise system or a legacy system into a cloud platform. Now, the next thing is you need to now break that particular big picture into actionable sprint, what we call sprints, essentially, into what you're going to be doing on a daily basis, weekly basis, and all that. And that's how you can go about it. So, we're not talking about sprints. So the data engineer really doesn't really care, or doesn't care about the whole, what I call it, how the business analyst is going to break it down into sprints and events and all that. Okay. So the data engineer is a more technical person that writes the code, all right, and delivers daily updates on, current situations, if there are backlogs, and if there are issues, what are causing the issues, and so on and so forth. And that is what we have done during the training program. So let me just walk you through our current, internship program, and we get to understand exactly what we're talking about. So for people that might come off as, oh, what are these guys talking about? Let me explain it to you. So we currently have a July joint internship program that combines 4 programs together: business analysis, data engineering, data science, and data analytics. So you see, this is a project. I'm going to walk you through, and you see, this is the project they're going through. So you see, this is the recording, sorry. I'm going to go through the slides. So you see the slides itself, okay? So this is UK job post analysis and report. So we want to get data from, we want to get job job post data from different job sites. So you have the likes of Indeed, CV Library, just the way Shayo had explained it earlier during the session. So we want to get job sites, job posts, all right, from different job sites within the UK and even beyond, all right? But we want to specialize more on the UK job market, okay? So you see, we are involving the business analyst, the data scientist, and the data engineer, even including the data analyst, okay? So we brought in the data analyst also. Okay, so now for the business analyst, now let me explain how the project is going to go through. Okay, so this is how it's going to go through. I'm going to get the project walkthrough, project scope. Okay, so project timeline. So you see, the first thing is this is the role of the business analyst, where you talk about the project kickoff and planning. This is where you now start doing the sprint planning and all that blah blah stuff that we talked about. Okay, so you define the project objective. The business analyst will define the project objective, identify target job sites to go on, plan the technical implementation and data analysis approach, and so on and so forth. So that's where the data business analyst will come in. Now, the business analyst is doing this, all right, also discussing, there are different types of processes they go through, requirement gathering, brainstorming. They could use brainstorming, research, and so on and so forth to do that. All right, the next part is now the key projects. Okay, now the business analyst will be tracking every activity of the data engineer, the data analyst, and the data scientist. All right, so every week they have like weekly catch-up meeting, right, to follow up on what was the status, what was the backlog, do you have any backlog, what are the major milestones that they've achieved, so on and so forth. So you see, these are all the meetings that they've been having. So you could see the presentation, you could see the presentation options. They're currently with 3, right? And you can see the sessions are recorded for people that even missed the session and want to go back to the session to find out what were the backlogs, where were the milestones, what were the achievements, and so on and so forth. So for every project, majority of the time when you're talking about a project like migration, data migration, all right, you'll have a business analyst that's in charge of that will be able to break it down into actionable goals and objectives and so on and so forth. So I hope that answers your question, Great Fox. All right.
Yes. Thank you. I just want to know how the relationship between the BA and the agile, the Delta engineer, and I listened to the guy from the process of when they start up for the on-premise and what parameters they need to use for the on-premise and the cloud engineering. What are those 2 parameters that they needed to use for those purposes? So I just trying to make up a project summary. Yeah, it makes sense. Thank you.
That's fine. No problem at all. So looking forward to seeing you in the program, yeah? All right. I know you said you're joining the program already. All right. So when are we going to have the recording of the presentation? Immediately after the training program, we'll send it to you for you to have that. Is there any training for coding? Data engineering is coding. All right. So when's the next cohort? 2nd of September. We have a program starting on the 2nd of September, but we run these programs every single month. We run this monthly. So you can, if you're not even looking to start from the September cohort, you can start with the October cohort. Okay. Well, the only thing I would say is we can't guarantee the early bird discount. All right. We can't guarantee the early bird discount. We can't guarantee that. That's the only thing. So if you want to secure your October position, you will need to pay a deposit now. All right, in order for you to even secure your early bird discount for October. All right, so that's basically it. So I'm just going to use the next 5-10 minutes to walk us through some people that have gone through the training programs. All right, I usually talk about the fact that what orchestrated, what led to us having doing more, pushing out and reaching out to people, all right, was our achievement in 2022. All right. So last year, we were able to help over 300 people throughout the year to transition from classroom into their first job in tech. So from classroom to getting their first job in tech. And now let me explain this because most people don't understand. These people had no prior experience. Now we had people that had prior experience, either they were working in finance, and they became financial analytics professionals and got a job, as a financial analyst and all that. Or we had accountants that transitioned from accounting to finance and got a job in financial analytics. Or we had people that were probably operations people that learned data analytics and became operations analysts. All those people had like a base knowledge, industry knowledge already before they transition. Now, the key thing for us, the key metrics for us was people that had no prior experience, zero prior experience. All right. Now, these people were, majority of them, entrepreneurs that were relocated, all right, that got themselves, into the UK, Canada, US, and so on and so forth, all right, and, they were looking to get a proper office job, all right. They led the tech skill, data analytics, data science. We started data engineering this year, all right, so data engineering might not be part of the numbers, all right, but essentially what we're talking about is we helped 300 people, all right, over 300 people land their first job in tech with no prior experience. All right. And that's what really got us, thinking to say that, okay, do you know what? If we did 300 in just 1 year, can we do more? Can we reach out to more people? Can we get more people across different other areas to get them started? And you see our people, now work with other organizations, with a lot of organizations across the world. So we have to work in Frasers, NHS, Post Office, HSBC, Microsoft, so on and so forth. All right. So how our impacts and features in 2022, you can see, all the things that we did last year. You can see Africans, Tenalytics help Africans across 4 continents land tech jobs. All right. And you can see all the things of Nairametrics, Business Day, Vanguard, Punch, and you also see PR Fire, which is based off in Europe. So they cover things that are happening in Europe. And you can see what they said also, Tenalytics reiterate commitment to help Africans get tech jobs in Europe. Now, you see all the links are there for you to click on them to read. All right, so they're all available for you there to read all the stories and all that. All right, so you can see Tech Cabal also, took note of our initiative to help women get into tech. So earlier in the year, around April, to commemorate the International Women's Day, we granted scholarship to 300 women, a discounted scholarship to 300 women across the world. All right, and that's where Tech Cabal came into, publicize, to showcase the things that we've done for the things that we are doing for people looking to get into the tech space. Also, we held our first data analytics hackathon, and you see the judges, the caliber of people that we have. We only deal with the best people in the industry. So Michelle Conway is currently the lead data scientist with Lloyds Banking Group in the UK. Sadiq is currently a smart analytics professional with Google. Sebastian is an AI researcher with ethics researcher with Cambridge University. Olamide Jola Osho is currently the head of data analytics with Wema Bank, Nigeria. So you see the caliber of people that we have in our arsenal. We have people that have wealth of experience coming in to share from their wealth of experience. All right. And those are the things that we talk about. All right. So moving on to the next thing, participant testimonials and feedback. We have people getting jobs in top organizations across the world in data engineering. And you see these people that started with us just this year, you could see them landing jobs in data engineering. You can see Chizoba got a job in the UK with the NHS. Okay. And guess what? Thanks for organizing an interview prep with Byron. So Byron is one of the facilitators, like I told you about. All right. So we prepared the person Byron prepared the person for the interview. And guess what? Ebele, I got the job, just waiting for a formal confirmation. And this person got a job with the NHS. NHS is a regulator, health regulator within the UK, and they're the largest. They're one of the highest. I feel like if we go into NHS, we would see a lot of analytics people, getting sponsored, getting jobs within the NHS. So currently, Chizoba works as a data engineer with the NHS. All right. So that's just Chizoba, and we have Idris Adebisi getting a job with Jaguar Land Rover in the UK. All right, as a data engineer. All right, so these are the job opportunities that you feel you can't take on. But the only reason why you can't take on them are because you don't have the skill sets. So you see Nate also got a job as a data scientist, in the US. And you can see, I got a job, man, got a confirmation now. Thanks so much for your help. And exactly the same process. And that's what we walk through. That's what we guarantee that you go through the training program and get opportunities for you. So it will be also, all right, got a job as a data scientist with the UK. All right, and you can see my new role is data scientist, first proper job in the UK after 10 analytics training. And you see, those are the things that we guarantee. You can see she sent over the office ID and all that just to show you that she's a data scientist now. And this first proper job in the UK, those are the things that you need to understand. All right, so we have a ton of testimonials. All right, Sunday Adebisi currently works as a regulatory data analyst in the UK. Ubon currently works as a data analytics consultant with Corporate Science in the UK. Abdurrashid currently works as a data scientist with Shao 420 in the US. Getting people jobs in Lagos, Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Kenya. We have a ton of testimonials at our beck and call from our participants doing great stuff. And you see, Shayo is not still part of the list. Do you understand? So we have a ton of them that are landing job opportunities across the world. And you can listen to their testimonials on our YouTube channel, or you can even when you get the materials, their pages, the links are there for you to click for you to watch them. Okay, so we have a ton of testimonials, and you see a lot of them are there for us to see. So you see, these are people posting stuff on LinkedIn about the projects they've worked on, and so on and so forth. So you see, quite a number of people are going through the training program and getting immediate benefits, all right, from the training program. So, like I would like to say before we call it a day, the discounts and early bird discount, secure your position now before it's too late. Okay? Before you say, oh, if you may not attended your session on the 19th of August, I wanted to take on board, this was please secure. All right. So even have 100,000 naira, secure your position. All you need to do is pay the balance before the 2nd of September. So, anyways, that's where we are going to call it that day. So if you have any question, please you can put in your question. Well, that's where we're going to come today. All right, thank you very much. I'm sure you guys had a wonderful day. I had a wonderful time speaking with you guys and answering your questions. And I'm sure you learned a thing or two in data engineering. Okay, so thank you very much, guys, and have a wonderful evening. All right, thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening, guys. Thank you very much. Bye, bye, everyone.